On tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about all the games we've been playing recently, we bring back the Boardgame Beatdown, and then we do our top 5 games we thought we'd like, but didn't. Stay tuned. Gamers, and welcome back to the podcast that squeaks when you bang it. That's what she said. I'm Ryan, the podcast king, and with me is Natalie Baskin and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer Lowe, and we're here to let you in on our crazy 7-part episodic feud where we all try to kill each other by the end of it. So buckle in and get ready because 2 of us won't make it out of this episode.
I was going to say, which one of us is going to jail?
I don't know. You got you got the Baskin name, so that's tough.
Yeah. Well, he's in jail.
Well,
Ryan Exotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the next 20 so years. Well, we'll see. This is alternate reality kind of stuff here. Also, happy Easter. We're recording this on Easter Sunday
Happy Easter.
at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
So I think we talked a little bit about Tiger King on maybe one of our Instagram live sessions, but you guys, that show was bananas.
Okay, thank you for watching it. I know you were kind of held out maybe for a little bit, and I was like,
yeah,
dude, you guys got to watch it. It's a roller coaster.
But I don't want to give too much of it away, but it was bananas. The one takeaway I got from it was that it was bananas.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Every second yielded a new, fresh crop of bananas that made the previous bananas you thought were the craziest bananas look like plantains, stupid little plantains, because this bunch of bananas was surely the height of the bananas.
What are you doing?
You know what
This is banana reference.
But then, nope, you get to episode 2, and there's just a couple more truckloads dumping bushel upon bushel of bananas. And then you realize, maybe this is too much bananas. How many bananas are too many bananas? But you keep watching, and the more bananas get dumped on your feet until you can't go anywhere without slipping on bananas. You can't make smoothies fast enough for the bananas. I'm trying to say the show is nuts, and it just compounds on itself over and over again. It's insanity.
Yeah, it's insanity. And it makes me angry.
There's a new episode out. I think they're releasing a new episode.
Did it come out yet?
I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I thought it was soon.
Yeah, I thought it was this
I haven't watched it. I'm going to.
Yeah, we haven't either, but
we're going to as well. I mean, we don't want to, but as much as we don't want to, we want to.
When we watched it, we were like, this person seems crazy. These 2 seem normal. Nope, I was wrong.
No.
This one seems crazy too. Nope, they're all equally crazy.
That was the most fun of the show for us, was like, all right, that person's the most normal, and then we'd take a drink, and then the next person, we're like, no, they're crazy. Okay, this person's the most normal.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they're insane. They're all insane.
People like this exist. That's just messed up.
Yeah, the fact that this world exists is so strange, that this is happening as we speak.
It's one of those things that's like, you're watching and you're like, this isn't real. Is this real?
Right.
There's no way this is real. And then you realize it's real. Nobody has any teeth.
Yep.
Everyone's crazy.
Yep. Somebody just has like hundreds of tigers and then several wives or girlfriends.
I think
what kind of world does he live in?
They all do. One of them has several husbands.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think the most normal person in that entire show is the girl that got her arm bit off by a tiger.
She is very normal.
I think she's the most normal person.
I also thought that secretary lady. The really gross. She probably has no teeth and she looks gross, but she also seemed.
Yeah.
She also seemed like she had her shit together.
Carol's husband who died.
Yeah,
right. The one that worked for the disappeared ex-husband. Yeah, allegedly died. We don't know what the hell happened to him. That show is insane. If you haven't seen it,
and you want to watch something insane,
I don't know. I can't recommend it. It's
just buckle in.
It's
just
not
watch
good.
it and let it happen.
Do it.
Yep.
It's not a feel-good show, that's for sure.
Yep. So
it's just a WTF kind of show.
Yeah. So it's like it has that same kind of thing that Making a Murderer had, where just everyone was like crazily watching it.
Yeah.
For however, and it's all everyone's
like
talking
that.
about.
It just has that kind of viewership.
But yeah, like Making a Murderer, like you actually kind of feel like, okay, maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he did it. Maybe he didn't do it. And you have sympathy for him a little bit. Who are you sympathizing with in Tiger King?
Nobody. They want
who's a sympathetic character? You hate them all. Yeah. They're all terrible, terrible people. And there's nothing redeeming to make you go like, oh man, I hope this person, because you're like, well, no, they are pretty screwed up. They probably deserve everything they're getting.
It's hilarious.
It's nuts. So we also watched the latest Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Have you seen that, Jeff?
Oh, no, I haven't. How is it?
It's awful. It's terrible. Oh. It's one of maybe the worst. It's pointless. And okay, I'm a self-admitted snob when it comes to like movies like that, TV shows, people. And this movie is just for the first 95% of it, Jeff, it's horrible.
It's just very slow.
It's boring.
And you're like waiting for something to happen and nothing's really happening.
It's not like new, right? It's like is it a year old or 2 years old?
It's like last summer.
It's not brand new.
Yeah.
It goes absolutely nowhere, but the ending might just be my favorite scene in any movie that I've ever seen in my entire life.
What? He's like, oh, how long is this movie? Nothing's happening. And then we get to this one scene, and he watched it over and over and over. I
probably watched it 15 times.
And then the next morning, over and over and
what? Okay.
I sent it. Yeah,
I was like, well, dude, I guess it made it worth it.
I don't know if you're ever planning on watching it or not. It sucks. It sucks.
Because it is very long.
Is the greatest thing in the world, and I just want to send it to you via YouTube because I found it on YouTube, and I've been watching it over and over. It's like the greatest thing in the world.
Do I need to watch the whole movie to get the ending?
Is it so great because of the build-up?
No. I mean, I could tell you like one sentence of context that you need. And that would be all you need. I rewound it when it happened like 5 times. Natalie had nightmares. And I just watched and laughed and basically just went ballistic the entire time it was on. I then found, like I said, I found it on YouTube and I've been watching it nonstop ever since. If you don't have, or if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, don't, because it's terrible. But if you just don't care about having a movie that's terrible, spoiled for you, please YouTube the ending scene. Just type into YouTube, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, hippies. That's all you got to do, and it should be the first one, the one with Brad Pitt in the thumbnail. And prepare yourself for a scene that can only be crafted by the perverse brain of Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. Well, it is absolutely ridiculous.
Insane. Talk about bananas.
I like Tarantino movies too. That's too bad.
I do
it's
too.
Not very good.
Like Inglourious Basterds is one of the best movies.
Yeah, I like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jackie Brown. I like Jackie Brown a lot too.
I gotta watch Jackie Brown. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
And Kill Bill Volume 2.
Volume 3?
Yep.
Or is it just 2?
And he did Django Unchained.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Django.
So it's, I mean, I like those Tarantino movies too. And this one was just...
This one was probably the worst.
It just went nowhere, man. It was like you're watching it and you're like, okay, something's going to finally happen. And it doesn't. And then this one scene happens and you're like, oh my God, what the hell is this? This is great.
I mean, obviously that's just our opinion.
No, it's truth.
My dad disagreed. I was like, oh yeah, it was so slow, and he was like, really? I thought it was, crazy the whole time. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, but your dad is sexually attracted to Enrique Iglesias, so it's really
a lot of people are.
People take his opinion as something they want.
I'm watching Ozark. Have you watched Ozark?
I've watched. He hasn't. He's seen the first episode, but I'm pretty sure I watched the first 2 seasons. Haven't started the third yet.
We just got
the new season just came out.
Yeah, but we just started from the beginning, so we're just through season 1. Yeah, we haven't seen it at all, so we're just through season 1 It's great. Yeah, it has
I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah, it has a Breaking Bad kind of feel, where it's like kind of a regular dude who's doing this like shady stuff kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
isn't he like money laundering?
Yeah. And then he gets,
but forcibly, right? They're forcing him to launder money in the Ozarks.
That kind of
that was what happened in the first
I don't want
to
spoil anything. That's he is laundering money and trying to ride this roller coaster of craziness that's happening to him.
Right.
We're also, I don't know if you guys have caught up on Westworld or if you gave up.
But we still haven't seen more than the first.
But we only watched the first episode.
But yeah,
the last one a week ago was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. I think it might get you back in it.
Okay. Yeah, we need to go through it. We love the second
fourth
season.
One or the third?
The fourth one.
Okay.
Do you watch the Alt Shift X YouTube channel, Jeff?
No. Should I?
Yeah, you should, because it's cool. So they do this thing after every episode. I found them when Game of Thrones was popular. After every single episode of Game of Thrones, they put together this explanation video. Like, here's what happened in this episode, and they go through it from start to finish, basically explaining it all. And so it kind of makes it. So I watched the first part of the first episode's video for that, and so it helped a little bit. So I think if anybody is feeling confused, because You know, one thing I will say about Westworld is it can be confusing.
Yeah,
you know, you got to pay attention to that show because there's like so many like what's real, what's not, who's a robot, who's not.
I think there's a sense that also you watch it, you just have to like be okay being confused. Mm-hmm. Like it will come. Like it will, some of this stuff will be explained. You just have to be okay not knowing every single answer.
That makes sense.
But I think it's great. I love it.
Cool. Yeah, we'll watch that for sure. But yeah, check out that Alt-Shift-X channel.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Cool. Yeah. So we've also been really not we. I have been into Animal Crossing, New Horizons lately. That's another thing that I think everybody that owns a Switch right now is playing
it.
If anybody plays it, this will mean something to you.
Yeah, so more than I love the game, I love Natalie's impression of the people in it. She hears it for 1 second, she wants to kill herself because
I'm like, can you turn the volume off? All I hear is and I'm like, ah.
So if anybody doesn't know the game, you're just basically living your life on this island, and you're just you interact with these little animals that are all over the island, and the animals talk like this. Oh, she hates it so much, but it's so spot on, that impression. But yeah, I can't get enough of that game right now. I've played all the Animal Crossings ever since the original one on I think GameCube, and it's just, I don't know, it's really fun. It's good stuff. What about you, man? Anything else going on?
I don't know. No. Again, I feel like
what day is this?
Feel like it really
How are you
does.
feeling your days?
It's the same thing. We're very, very, very structured every day. Is like because Jack is 9 months old today, and he needs like a schedule. So he gets up at the same time every day. Eats breakfast at the same time every day. We go for a walk almost the same time every single day. We even joked the other night we were eating dinner, and I looked up at the clock. I'm like, I swear to God, the last week I've looked at the clock. It's been the exact same time at dinner. God. The exact same time. It's like 5:25 every single night. Day. Yeah, it's like we're living Groundhog Day. But
you're really gonna mess them up when it's September. You have to go back to work.
Right. So yeah, we're watching TV. Joe is 3D printing a whole bunch of stuff. I know if any of our listeners,
your Underwater Cities ones.
Yeah, if any of our listeners tuned into our little lunch session, I had some Underwater Cities player tokens printed, which are very cool. So instead, the cardboard that you'd place on the action spots.
Yep.
So now you have a little submarine with the player color, and use that.
Sweet.
We're printing tiles for terraforming Mars. So the 9 water tiles and a bunch of forests and cities in the capital, and then all the special brown tiles.
I might have to buy some filament and see if Joe can.
Yeah, I bet he would.
I want the Quacks box.
The Quacks boxes are great.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool because they hold the ingredient board.
Yes, it's so cool.
That takes up so much space to have piles plus the card next to it.
And then you put them back and you close the box and put them back in the actual game box, and they're
boom,
and they're done.
That's nice.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So is there like I don't know what the word, blueprints for this stuff?
Yeah, I didn't
files you find.
Okay.
Yeah, so you find a file and you put it on like an SD card, and you put the SD card in the 3D printer, and then select it, and it just goes.
There's a geek list I'll send to you. Joe maybe already knows about it, but there's a geek list on Board Game Geek, and it's literally just dedicated to 3D printer files for games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
it's in alphabetical order and stuff like that. So
our friend Brian Beach has one, and I know he's made stuff for games too.
Oh yeah, he makes tons of
like
stuff
inserts
for games.
And stuff.
Yeah, he loves doing that stuff for sure.
Yeah, so that's been kind of cool. We also we played Wingspan the other night, and we got little birdhouses instead of the cubes.
Oh, yeah.
The birdhouses were very cool, so that was fun.
Wait, you 3D printed those too?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, so that's been that. I'm not even doing it. I'm just having Joe just does it and then send me a picture of it. And I'll swing by his house and he'll like leave it on a mailbox or like throw it to me from 6 feet away.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah, they live right around the block.
Yeah. So we're a few streets away. So yeah, we're really just very structured, scheduling out games, scheduling out what we're eating every night, and just trying to get through the apocalypse.
Are you going to the grocery store?
We went 2 weeks ago. Devin's gonna brave it out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. She's gonna wear a mask for the first time tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I just got. My friend was making masks out of like fabric she had laying around, and so
I know your friend Stephanie's making those.
Oh yeah, so then we got some from her. So I haven't gone to the grocery store yet with them, but the last time I went to the grocery store, I felt so out of place because I was one of the only people not wearing a mask, and I just felt so uncomfortable. Like everyone's judging me, and so I was like, I need to find a mask.
Like what an
so
opposite.
Now I have one.
Like how things change. We're like, I remember going to the airport and seeing people wearing masks and being like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
you know, and now
weirdos.
it's like, now we're the
It's
weirdos
like the
not
normal.
wearing masks. Yeah.
It feels like a
What a
movie. It
crazy
feels like we're
world.
living in a movie.
Yes, I've had to go to the vet a few times, and I had to sit in the parking lot, call the vet. Then they say, okay, we'll check you in, and then we'll come out. And I had to like give them my dog. They took him inside, and I had to sit in my car and wait. And then they take him back, bring him back out to me, and then they'd have to call me and take my payment over the phone, like while I was in the car. It's just weird.
So weird,
yeah, that's
man.
weird.
It's so weird.
That's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, this whole thing is messed up our lives in a lot of weird ways. Like we,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's just very, things are different, in ways I wouldn't expect. You'd think like, oh, we're just home all the time. We got nothing but time. But that's not really the way it's worked.
But for a lot of people, I mean, I will say that I've gotten some like, not like big projects, but like organization projects done that I've just been meaning to do for a long time because I'm just home more.
I guess I'm only really equating this to board games.
Oh,
We have not been
what's
playing
wrong with
board
us?
games, weirdly.
Yeah. So we luckily have been, but we have to like, if we don't schedule it and say like, hey, let's play this game tonight, we're not going to because we're going to sit on the couch and not do it. But we're
that's
also
probably our problem.
I feel like you guys during the day are working a lot more. We're not working as much during the day.
It's like the same. It's like we're at work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what have
Except
you
the
been
kids are
playing?
here most of the time.
Yeah.
So good question.
What have you been playing?
So we have been going through Natalie's boys' big box games.
Oh.
My
Yeah.
boy.
If y'all
Natalie's
don't
boy.
know Natalie's boy, it's Alexander Pfister.
Barely know her.
Oh, brother. All right, so this one's called Blackout Hong Kong. We've played, like I said, all his other big box games, Great Western Trail, Dad Basa, Mombasa, Maracaibo.
Maracaibo.
And we wanted to give this one a shot, and we were really excited about this one. So in Blackout Hong Kong, the game takes place in autumn of 2020.
Yeah,
So
in
it's
the
not
future.
in the not too distant future, where a massive blackout hits, and we represent different companies or something competing to turn on the lights.
Yeah.
We're turning the lights back on. It's an incredibly thinly veiled theme to what really is a very standard resource management card playing Euro game. The game's very reminiscent of his other games. I think. I feel like we can feel the fister coming through at this point. I lost my. Okay, so my screen is shared. Oh boy, I lost
Video
my
difficulties.
I just lost everything.
Oh, his.
I'm showing. I have my screen on Blackout Hong Kong. If you're watching the video, you can see a little bit.
If I do this.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I think
got
that's
it.
better. Okay,
Sorry.
You're good. Sorry about that. So the game's very reminiscent of his other games. The way it works is you're playing cards in front of you each round to 3, possibly 4 columns, and then taking the actions of those cards you played, which usually generates resources. And then in the next phase, you're using those resources to complete goals. You have them on other cards that lets you earn points, put cubes onto the board, gets you more cards, gets you more ways to easily convert resources into other resources to unlock abilities. Then in the next phase, you get to go scout these locations on the board. So you can see, if you're looking at the picture here, you can see the game board there. And there's a bunch of it's like blacked out, right? Blackout Hong Kong. So it's like there's all these different little points on the board, and you can see on the left side there. There's like Jeff's pointing to, and there's white and there's orange spots. So there's districts attached to those spots, and those districts have these tiles in them, and you get to scout these tiles by basically taking them and looking at them, and they just give you points at the end of the game, help you scout easier in future rounds. They give you more resources. So after you do that phase, you get to buy more cards to put onto your player board, and then you get to use some special abilities to get you more points and resources. Then you start it all over again until this main deck of cards runs out, which you can see at the top of that image there. At which point you play one more round, and then you total up points, and Natalie wins.
I seriously don't know how I won that game.
The cool thing about the game, for me, is the way the resources are tracked. Jeff, if you can find a picture that shows the rondelle, there's this resource rondelle There it is.
There it is.
At the beginning of every round, the start player rolls 3 dice. And there's a red dice, a blue dice, and a yellow dice. And the dice have different resource sides on them. Or is it white? No, is it red, blue, and yellow? I can't.
It looks like yellow.
Yeah, red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah,
You can see them there.
really.
Okay. The cards you play match the colors of those dice. So when you roll those dice, you put those dice on the matching resource wedge of this rondel. And those are the resources that you will get by playing cards this round. So like I said, the cards you play have red, blue, and yellow on them. They match the colors of those dice. Each time you play a card, it will have a number of cubes on it of a color. So if I play a card with 2 blue cubes on it, that means I place 2 blue cubes on the spot of the rondel where the blue die is. So say the blue die rolled like food. Okay, when I play my blue card, those 2 cubes on my card go to food, and I place them on the rondel in the food spot. However, maybe I don't want food. You never want what was rolled, ever. So you can spend these transportation tokens, if you get those, and they let you move around the rondel at 1 token per movement. So if I don't want food, I rolled blue landed on food, and I'm like, shit, I don't need food, I need water. So you can spend these transportation tokens to move those cubes from the food spot to the water spot. And if you run out of those transportation tokens, you can always buy more, but you have to give up points. So it's kind of an interesting way to deal with resources. It kind of can create some frustration in there, is because it's random. Like the dice come out and they might be totally wrong for what I'm doing, but they might be totally right and perfect for what your opponent's doing, and that can feel a little bit of a bummer. The game, for me, it was smarter than me. We talk about this all the time, where I just could not seem to fully grok it or wrap my brain around it.
I knew he was going to say he couldn't grok this.
Grok. I knew it was coming too.
I understood the rules just fine. I just felt like every move I was making was only for the right now. You know what I mean? I couldn't seem to see a path to victory. And then the dice just kept not cooperating with me, and it was a very frustrating play in that way. It's a good game, and I think it's designed very well, and you can certainly see notes of Pfister's other games come through in there. But there are just some games that don't hit the mark for whatever reason for me, and this one just eluded me. It's built as such that you can get a cool engine up and running, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. I just kept saying words like, damn it, or that was stupid, or why did I do that? Or no, the dice are in the exact worst spot for what I need to do.
I think I called myself an idiot like 5 times. I'm like, you idiot, why'd you do that?
And then there was this moment at the end of the game where, I was pretty sure Natalie was going to win anyway, so it wasn't like, and even if this thing happened in my favor, she still would have won by a few points. But so there's this mechanism when you're doing that scouting that I was talking about, where when you scout, you have to basically send a card that you're scouting with to the hospital, and that means it's out of play.
Randomly.
And if it's at the end of the game, it doesn't score you points. So I had 8 cards in my deck that I used for this scouting thing. Only one of them I cared about not being sent to the hospital. And so I shuffled them up, and it felt like Quacks Quedlinburg, where I'm like, all right, I got a 1 in 8 chance to get to not. I'm like, I'm good to go. I shuffle it and I pull it, and I just chucked it as hard as I can, and it flew behind the game shelf. And Natalie was just like, all right, I guess we're done.
Okay.
I was like, son of a bitch.
I was like, did that go behind the shelf?
I was like, I don't know where it went. Who cares?
Forward.
Let's just keep playing. So it was the end, and it turned out, and so I lost. But so I really, games of his that hit for me, I really loved Mombasa, and I really loved Maracaibo. I didn't totally love Great Western Trail, and Blackout Hong Kong was just made me feel stupid. So I guess he needs to design another game that starts with the letter M, and I'll be fine. Natalie, what did you think of Blackout Hong Kong?
Oh, man.
Oh, get out the notebook.
Uh-oh.
I realized I didn't write anything down, and I usually can put sentences better together.
What, you didn't write anything down? So what are you looking at now?
Well, I wrote it down while you were talking.
Oh, okay. Good.
All right, let's hear it.
Yes, I pretty much agree completely with you. It was so hard, but at the same time, I felt like it was a good game, and I kind of liked it as a game in general, but it just made me feel so dumb. I think the first 2/3 of the game, Ryan was getting points. I had 3 points. Ryan's going up, and he's getting these there's these check mark things where in the last round you can do these checkmark actions. I didn't have any for like the first 2/3 of the game. I like didn't have any points, and I
didn't matter. She beat the crap out of me.
I don't know how, because for most of the game I was like, I've done nothing. I have nothing. I've done nothing. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. It is very hard to like coordinate everything because, like he said, the resources that come up are random, and if I can't get to the ones I need, well, then I'm just kind of screwed. And so it always seemed to happen where, you know, I have these gold cards and none of the resources that are my gold cards come up, and it was just hard. And then for me, towards the end, somehow things started to come together. I can't believe I won, honestly. When he was like, you won, and I was like, what? How? Like, I was doing nothing this whole time.
So yeah, I jumped out to an early lead by getting all this stuff, and then, like I said, nothing synergized. And I realized that halfway through, I was like, I have all this stuff, but I can only use one of them. Like, normally you want a game like that to build an engine, you know, where this triggers that triggers that. And this game is set up that you can do that. But I guess I just made every wrong move you could potentially make.
Well, it's frustrating too, because I mean, we've never played this game, so we don't know what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah, we don't know the
cadence. There was like 7 actions that you can do, and you're only doing one of them to set yourself up. Because like maybe you don't have enough money to buy a card because you're saving it to complete a goal, or you know, you can't scout because you don't have whatever you need to do that. And I mean, maybe that's just the way this game goes, but when you're playing it for the first time, you're feeling like I'm missing out on all these opportunities, and you know, is this bad? Am I playing this wrong? And like Ryan said, there's a lot of times where I'm just like I'll do something and then I realize like that was so dumb, what an idiot, you know. And like, so I agree with you. Overall it was a good game, but we got very frustrated and we felt very stupid.
Yeah, it beat us to a pulp. It was like sometimes when we play a 2-player unlock, and we're like, we feel like the biggest idiots in the world. We can't get any puzzle without all the damn clues.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that. I was like, I need like a lifeline. I need like Alexander Pfister to come in here and just be like, this is what you do, bro.
Yeah.
So real quickly, just to get it on the record here, we thought we were recording video, and we aren't. So there's no way. You've heard us just say, if you're watching the video, there's no video.
There's no video.
Yeah.
Halfway through Natalie's explanation of Blackout Hong Kong, I realized, oh my God, we didn't hit record on the video. So you will hear us audio this time. We're going to try to bring you a lot of more video type stuff coming through either Twitch or YouTube Live, or certainly we're going to do more live stream lunch sessions, I think, on Instagram Live, which has been very fun. But I just want to get that out there. So anyway, that's Blackout Hong Kong. I would give the game itself probably like an 8 design standpoint wise. It's a good game. I can tell that I'm the stupid one. I can tell the game is fine. There's nothing wrong with the game. I can tell it's me. You know, I'm dumb. The game should be rating me. The game gives me like a 5 for terms of how I could play the game. So,
Natalie, what do you give it? Do you give it anything? You got a number for it? A meaningless number?
Right. I know. Like, I agree with you. Like, maybe it's like 7.5, 8, but like, if I had to rate the fun amount of fun I had, it was like a 6.
Yeah, that was the one thing.
Okay.
I never felt like I was having fun.
I mean, he threw a card behind his game shelf, so what does that tell you?
I know, that's tells me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where you lose a game, but you're still engaged and enjoying it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that first play of Coimbra that we played a long time ago. You won, but I still felt like I'm loving this game. This is really cool. This game, I remember even thinking specifically like, it's not clicking for me. Mm-hmm. And that was, so when it was over, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna want to bring this back out. I mean, I think we'll try it again because we love Alexander Pfister around here, barely knew her. But we'll see if and when it hits the table again. So, what about you, Jeff? What are you playing these days?
We played. So I did tell you my goal is to get rid of some of my shelf of shame games. Yep. And we got one off the shelf of shame recently. Played a game called Crusaders. And the full name is Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done. Yeah. We have wanted this game
Ryan's
for a
been wanting
long
this game.
time.
Every time we go to Guild of Blades, he'd see it. He'd be like, oh, I want that.
I'm excited to play with you guys because I think that it has a lot of things that I know specifically Ryan will like a lot.
Yeah.
So Crusaders, that will be done. I'm just going to call it Crusaders from here on out because
good call.
It gets annoying.
So I'm going to call it Crusaders. Designed by Seth Jaffe.
Yep, Seth
published.
Jaffe.
Yeah, published by TMG, and I love TMG games.
Yeah, me too, man.
And so players are Crusaders moving across Europe, crusading. They're defeating enemies and erecting buildings and spreading their influence across Europe.
What are they doing to buildings? I'm sorry.
They're erecting them.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Nice.
Yes. And the entire game is really driven by a very, very cool player board and personal action wheel. And that personal action wheel has been named a roncalla.
Yeah, boy.
Yes. That's the combination of a mancala and a rondel. Similar to
Trajan-like?
that. Yes, similar to that of Trajan. And each section or each wedge of the action wheel is a different action. The actions are travel across Europe, muster up your forces, crusade, which is fight, build or spread influence. And on your turn, what you do is you pick one of those actions. So on your wedge, you pick one of those actions, and you count the number of tokens that are sitting on that action. So again, if you played Trajan, think Trajan with those hex cubes that are sitting on the different actions. So you count how many tokens are on that wedge, and that is how many power essentially you have for that action. For example, if I have 5 tokens on the travel wedge, I get to move 5 times.
Sweet.
Or I can split my movement. I can move 1 by 3 and 1, 2, you know. Or buildings have certain costs. So if we want to build a building that costs 3, you have to have 3 tokens on that wedge in order to build that building.
For sure.
Yeah. And then, so in the opposite way that Trajan works is once the action is done, then you pick up all of the tokens that are on that wedge and you drop them clockwise.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, you suck them up and then like this, and you drop them clockwise onto the wedges, the next wedges. Okay. And so that kind of works in reverse because in Trajan, you drop them to then pick that last action.
Right.
So this one works slightly different. And so
are those wedges? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no.
Are those wedges that are on the roncalla? Are those interchangeable?
Yes. So there are a couple like variations that you can do. So what the starting game tells you to do is have one person just randomize them and put them together, and then have everybody have the same.
Okay.
What they tell you to do a variable like, hey, just if you want to just play the game, you can just mix them up and put them so everybody has a different looking rondel. So you can do that. The other thing you can do on your action, which is why they're interchangeable also, is you can upgrade an action. So you can take one of your wedges and you can flip it over, and on the back of a wedge has 2 actions on that single wedge. So instead of a travel, you can have a travel and a build. So when you have 5 pieces on that wedge, you can use 1 to travel and 4 to build. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And yeah, so and the game continues until there's like this influence pool of points. So there's like points sitting on the table. Almost everything you do gets you points. So other than really moving. So you build a building, you get points for the level that it's on. If you fight something, you get the points for how strong that force was. And you're just taking points from this pool of influence. As soon as the influence pool runs out, everybody finishes that round, and then the game is over.
Ah, okay.
So that's how the game...
that's kind of like Ascension has like a pool of points.
Yeah. So and then there's some end game scoring where you get points for how many people you defeated or how many troops you defeated, and then some higher up cost buildings have end game scoring points, and player with the most points wins.
Sweet.
It played in an hour. Devin and I played it in an hour flat and maybe like an hour and 10 with the rules.
Wow.
So it was a quick explanation, a quick game.
10-minute rules?
Is there a dummy player or anything for 2 players?
No, there's not. So we just played
and the player board's dynamic, right?
Yes. So there are a lot of things that I really liked about the game. So I'll tell you about
dynamic for Ryan. Roncalla.
Roncalla for Jeff. Yes, it has a lot of things I feel like Ryan specifically would really, really like.
Sweet.
Obviously the production is through the roof. The art is beautiful. The pieces are great. I even just have like the standard copy. Like it's not.
Yeah.
TMG always says they're deluxeified.
Yeah. Yep.
The deluxeified is through the roof awesome. But
for sure.
Even just the regular like wooden pieces are shaped like castles, and they're shaped. No, they could just be cubes. Who cares? But
yeah,
they go above and beyond for that. Yep. The player board. So every time, like you said, this dynamic player board. Every time you build a bank, it gives you something. So, for example, if I build a castle. It might release one of my knights where now I have 2 knights that I can move across the board.
Sweet.
Or it might give me 1 extra build point. So if I take the build action, I only have 2 tokens on there, but I've used one of my buildings, I now have 3 build actions. And so the further and more buildings you build, the more actions, the actions become bigger and greater.
Sure.
Especially when you have to like fight something that's 10 and you need, lots of cubes on there as well as all these little powers. It's that part I really, really enjoyed. I enjoyed like taking the pieces and putting them on the board. The big main player board is just kind of like a map of Europe with different hexes. On the hexes are like enemy troops and also some little bonuses depending on what building gets built in that little hex. And there's also, which I know we all like, there's player powers. So
we do.
You get your own like knight order, and it has something that's rule breaking for each person. So Devin got to start with 2 knights on the board, and I only got 1.
Okay.
And my player power was I got to, as I picked up all of my pieces, I got to, my first one I could drop on the one I just did instead of the next one. So there's other ones where some people start with more tokens. Some people start with less tokens but get to like upgrade some wedges. So that's really cool that it seems variable in that way.
Did you get a 1-sentence review from Devin?
Devin, Devin said I liked it better than Coimbra.
Well, she didn't like Coimbra, so that's good.
She didn't like Coimbra. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this was like a game Devin would say, let's play it over and over again, but she
Maybe
liked
she feels it's good, not great.
Yeah, I think so. And I knew she kind of liked it at least enough partway through because she understood the rules completely and knew what she was doing and didn't have to like have me explain something again. Everything just kind of came to her naturally, which is good, which means that the rules are really straightforward and simple.
The weight is?
It's light. It's lighter than you would think from looking at the game or just like looking at your player board and being like, wow, there's a lot going on. There's not.
Yeah.
I would say it's like, it's mid. And I would say mid might be
like low end,
giving it a little bit. Yeah.
Is there enough there that makes you want to come back to it?
So that's where I have this like in between stuff of there were some tough decisions. And so like, for example, at the end of the game, I felt myself not taking turns to get points because I'm like, all right, there's only 10 points left in the pool. If I do this action, I'm going to get 3. But if I wait, I'm going to get 8 next turn. I wanted to do something that when I liked those decisions, I liked being able to go, all right, let me just travel this time. So next time or the 2 times after that, I can get more points because you don't want to drain that pool and then go, well,
game's over.
Yeah. And the game's over and you don't get to do like your big turn. Mm-hmm. So I think there was, I liked that the game was short and it took an hour and I was like, great. But I also was like, was it too short? And I don't quite know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that balance quite yet. So I liked that it was short, but I don't know. Yeah, like I wanted 2 or 3 more turns to just keep doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could use just an easy expansion with like maybe some more dynamic like wedges or even just like another building or 2 to kind of make the game deeper. Like I wouldn't mind playing that game for an hour and a half. At all.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there's a limit of like if it was a 2-hour game, there would definitely not be enough there to play a 2-hour game. But again, it plays in an hour, and that's where I'm like, great.
Yeah, that's a good time. But you're like, what else is it going to do? How long is it going to is it going to hit the table again?
Right.
That's the kind of stuff you need to ask yourself, I guess, on those kind of games.
And I would definitely play it again. I'm keeping it. It's something that I would play at game night. And again, I could play it at game night and then play a game after that or 2 other games after that.
Sure.
If it only plays in an hour.
Right.
So yeah, I would say it's better than good, not great in my opinion. And that's always our like random.
Yeah,
it's like the random number.
Yeah, well that's good. That's good though because honestly, good not great games don't last in our collection.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's just good not great, then
it's really funny. I feel like it's either good not great, we love it, or we don't really like it. Those are like the only 3 things.
Yeah.
Like whenever we rate stuff, it's usually between a 7 and an 8. Or 8.5.
Yeah,
like it's very
which is why those ratings are just stupid.
And that's
they only make sense. I tried to.
We did get that feedback about like trying to say the name of the game over and over again.
I know.
So
I've been thinking of that
Crusaders.
the entire time.
I know.
I'm like, how am I going to wedge this in here? We're talking about Crusaders, and we talked about Blackout Hong Kong before. I know. I know.
So I'd rate Crusaders.
That was Crusaders. That will be done. And
what would you rate it?
I'd put it in that 8 world.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And and it's. If you like player boards, if if you're early into like kind of gaming, I don't think that someone who loves like Terra Mystica is going to love this game.
Sure.
But I think that the game has enough to play 2 people and for you to enjoy it. You like these dynamic player boards, you like cool powers, you can change out these different powers and the game plays very differently the next time.
Right.
And it's beautiful to look at.
Awesome.
So
That's
that
very
was
cool.
Crusaders again.
Sweet. We played a couple of games 2 days ago. Natalie really wanted to play Sorcerer City again.
Oh, man.
And so we got Sorcerer City to the table again, and it was just as fun as the first game.
It was very fun.
It's super fun. That is definitely a random game that can yield very vast differential point swings.
Yeah. Well, remember the first time we talked about it, I was like, I couldn't ever get all my tiles out, and at the very last round, I like still had half my stack left.
Yeah.
Well, this time, I managed my time much better and basically got my tiles all out every single round. But what I realized is those games where you're like timed and you're like to like quickly put tiles out, but in a way that maximizes your points, I just suck at, because I sucked at this game. He killed
this game
me.
being Sorcerer City.
I was like, you're gonna get double the points that I got, and he got like almost triple.
Oh,
I'd say.
Yeah, she scored
Those
like
games-
85 and I had like 210 or something.
Right, it just like I'm like putting these things out, and I'm like, I don't know where to put this because the way that they're coming out, and I realize I think I kind of do that same thing with these games. I like them, but I suck. Like Nine Tiles Panic and
Chaosmos.
I don't think I suck at Chaosmos as much, but I know I'm not great at it. And then like this one, we're like, I'm having so much fun, but wow, I did so bad. And so like we finished playing this game, and I immediately was like, let's play it again
She's like,
right
let's
now.
do it again.
Like, I was like, rack it up.
I was like,
and
you know what? Let's take a step
no.
back. Because
Yeah.
if this does happen again, you're gonna.
and that's where like
But that's the thing, though. I have fun, so it wasn't in a mad way. It was more just like I'm determined to do better. Like let's do it again. I have to improve.
there is a point at which having fun will take a backseat to getting your ass kicked over
Yep.
and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where you're like, okay,
exactly.
not having fun anymore.
I think the points, I had like 80 points and he had like 200 and something.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? It was still like, there are some games where you know when that's going to happen and you're like, okay, we should just stop. This game wasn't like that still. You know what I mean? Because it's so quick. Because you can get, we got through it in, kind of like Crusaders, Jeff. We got through it in an hour, maybe even a little less, especially with 2. But again,
And
more
we
than
already knew how
ever
to play
in this
it.
game, which is Sorcerer City, more than ever in this game, which is Sorcerer City, we were playing this and we realized this ate up 90% of our table with just 2 of us. I don't know how the hell you would play with 3 or 4 people. You would just be getting in each other's way, and it would be it would just drive me nuts.
I honestly thought about that exact sentence that you said a few weeks ago about this game. I was setting up, Devin and I played Wingspan a couple nights ago, and I was setting up Wingspan, and that doesn't take up a ton of room. You know, you just have that like book.
Yeah, the book's
But
big.
I thought about that. I'm like, there's no way that this would fit Sorcerer City based on what you told me. That it just
There
is
was
this
times
sprawling
because you
game.
don't know where you're gonna go. You're starting with a tile
the
here,
thing. That's
and then
the
you're
thing,
like,
exactly.
I'm planning on it to go this way, but then all of a sudden it goes this way or going this way, and now the table ends, and I'm like, where do I do with this? And I
We
feel
were
like,
constantly running into the end of the table and the display of components that's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's other players, you're just going to do that with them, and it's just that that's kind of a bummer about it. So that's Sorcerer City again. We also played one of our all-time favorite 2-player games, Codenames Duet. I don't know that we've ever actually gone through it on the show.
well, it was because he wouldn't let me play Sorcerer City again, so we played.
Well, I told her, we need to take a step back and play something together. Let's play a
break.
cooperative game, something that we can work together. Where it's not like
well,
you're
I wasn't
making me feel
mad.
I know.
I was more just like, let's do this again. I need to do better. And you're like, well,
So we played Codenames
I
Duet,
like murdering you.
which is maybe our favorite iteration of Codenames.
Yeah, it's
We've
so
played all
great.
of them. We've played the regular Codenames, the After Dark one, which is dumb.
I played,
Undercover, whatever.
I've never
it's called.
played the pictures
The
one.
pictures. Oh, you haven't? Okay, I've played the pictures ones, and now
Really, they're
Codenames Duet.
all the same.
They're all
you have,
great.
You have pictures, anything with
Yeah.
words, and then Duet. I think
Right.
those are
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
If you like Disney, sure, buy the Disney one. But
Right.
Yeah, personally, I don't like the pictures ones as much, just because I feel like they don't give you that opportunity for the cleverness that the ones with words allows for.
I would agree with that.
Which is what I love about Codenames is those opportunities for, using one clue with double meanings to get you multiple cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I used the clue Sears one time to have Natalie guess both tower and washing machine or something like that. And it felt awesome doing that, right? So anyway, so that's why I like the word ones better. But so we played Codenames Duet. Anyone that hasn't played Codenames, you got to be living under a rock at this point.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a grid, a 5x5 grid of word cards, and you're trying to, in Codenames Duet, you're trying to get 15 correct guesses. And the way to get correct guesses is to give your partners clues that are one word and then a number, when the number equates to how many cards on the display you think correspond to that word. And so the duet version is cooperative, like I said. It is so hard and challenging and
it's hard.
Awesome.
Well, it's like I pretty consistently, every time we play it, it takes us at least 3 plays to win it.
Or we don't win it.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard. And it's not... We always
because
get
you run
really
out of time.
Close.
You only have
so
have
many 9
turns.
rounds.
Yeah.
You have 9 rounds to get 15 correct. So you cannot... You have to make strings. You have to string together pretty much every turn to even have a chance. And so at the minimum, you got to string together 2. And so, but the thing is, there are 3. You each have 3 ways to lose. In the normal Codenames, there's only 1 assassin. In the duet version, each of us have 3 assassins on our cards.
Don't one of them match? Like Natalie has her own, you have your own, and then one of the same.
Right, and same with the correct answers. A couple of them match.
One of my assassins will be a correct answer on Natalie's.
Right.
And so so sometimes you're like, okay, I'm gonna guess this card, but for me it's an assassin, and I hit it, and it's like, oh, it's correct,
Yeah.
So it's the most tense of the Codenames, which is I think why I like it so much, because I'm not trying to beat another team, which has its own level of inherent fun. But this, I'm trying to like meld with Natalie so much to beat the game, and it never is easy. Never. Mm-mm. We've never gone through it and been like, okay, well, we just beat it. So
every time we do beat it, it's very close.
Yeah, it took 4 tries this time to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that good though? Don't you like that?
Well, yeah. That's what makes it so fun.
That's what's awesome about it is we'll have times where we don't beat it, and you don't feel like you can't beat it. Like you're just like, damn it, we if we only would have like. There's a clue that Natalie gave me, and after it's like I had no idea what she's talking about, and after it's over, she's like, well, here's what I meant by that, and I'm like, oh, if I would have just thought of that in the game, we would have won.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting your brain, and that's the best thing about Codenames, I think, is getting your brain to think the same way your partner's is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, she'll say a clue and my brain's only thinking of it from this dimension, but Natalie's, meant it this way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm just speaking metaphorically.
Or you have like multiple cards that you want to string together and you're like straining your brain to come up with a clue that connects these cards. And then usually when that happens, it's kind of a stretch. Like your partner has to kind of think outside of the box. It's not going to be obvious, and you both have to understand that.
Yeah, because you can't say it. Right. You can't ever say before your clue in this game called Codenames Duet. You can't ever say, well, this is a stretch, but here's the clue, and then do it. Right? You just have to say it.
Yeah.
Or else that's cheating.
So my students play Codenames all the time, and I will sit there sometimes. I'll be like, cheating. Because they do that where they're like, well, I don't know if this. I'm like, that's cheating.
Yep, cheating.
It's hard not to say anything. Information. Or when you like give a clue and then he's just like
hemming and hawing.
And he's like, oh, I think it's this, or maybe it's this, and you're like,
yeah, for Hardy to be like,
I can't say anything.
Yeah, actually,
yeah. I think Codenames Duet. If you're sitting in lockdown with significant other or with a roommate or something,
pick this up.
Codenames Duet might be a great one for people to get.
Have you played it, Jeff?
No.
Why don't you get it?
Dude, it's so good. It's for us. It's the best version of Codenames, and we love Codenames.
I just don't have it. Yeah, I should probably just get it.
You should just get it.
I'll buy anything for $20.
For $20, you should just get it right now. You should go on Amazon right now and order that thing.
Yeah, it's only $20.
It's super fun, and you'll rattle it off. Like we played, we lost. We're like, okay, well, because you just flipped the cards over.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw the Natalie angry picture on Instagram.
Yeah, we lost, and then we finally won, and it was.
Well, it's probably mostly like,
extreme
how do I
jubilation.
put together nylon and penny?
Yeah,
Like, you
that's
know,
always
like,
that's hard.
Yeah, or my clue as girl. I have a clue, girl. Penny is one of the ones I want her to pick.
That
But
didn't even
again,
cross my
that's
mind.
That's that
Right.
different dimension. She's not thinking of Penny. She's only thinking of Penny as a coin,
Right.
Right.
and
Not
she's
like a name or
not like
yeah.
So
someone's
later
name.
I was
Bang
like,
Theory
duh.
or,
Yeah, Big
Right.
Bang Theory.
It's funny
Penny Lane.
because for his clue girl, he meant Penny for one of them, and there might have been like 2 or 3, and I picked Dash, and he was like,
Dash,
no.
like Devin.
Yeah, like Devin,
Like
Yeah.
Devin, right? And I was like, oh, that's actually a good guess for you, but I wasn't.
That's not what he was
I
thinking.
didn't think that way. I was thinking
yeah.
Penny. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that's Codenames Duet. Fantastic game, like Jeff just said. Especially in this lockdown period, you're looking for a game to play with your significant other or whoever you're with. It only plays 2, so keep that in mind. But it's a fantastic 2-player game. You can rattle off them over and over again, and you're not going to win right away,
Right.
Unless you're cheating in some way. You're not going to win easily. So it's very
know
fun,
that.
and it has a little kind of campaignish thing in it. We've never done it, but it does
Yeah,
have
it's
a
like-
little. Yeah, you're like going
It's like
around
the
this
world.
map
Travel,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
So,
And especially if you like code names and you can't get together with your group of friends right now, it's your way to get your code name fixed.
yeah, Codenames fix. Oh, I know. So I would put this game a 9. I would give it a 9 to a 9.5
Same.
out of 10. Are we high-fiving? Okay. Yeah, it is.
Same.
It is so good.
Only Jeff can see us, but still.
Yeah, it was a high five.
We have 5.
I can vouch for
He's
you.
confirming.
Not a
He's
good
confirming.
one.
It's a fantastic
It was
game.
a
So
hesitant
that's
one.
Codenames Duet. What about you, man? What do you got?
We played a couple games that I know you guys have talked about on the show. I don't want to go too much into it. One is Coimbra, which I kind of spoiled.
Coimbra.
Coimbra is one of my favorites. I love dice placement. I love the pips on the dice mean one thing in a certain round of the game,
the
and the
color
color.
means-
It just is it. I get it. Also, like when I played it, I'm like, I know what to do. I know what dice I need. Devin wasn't a huge fan. Didn't
How
like
come?
it. Makes me a little sad.
She said it wasn't
So,
thematic, right?
She did.
Oh, yeah,
she
she didn't
did
like the
say
theme.
she didn't
Interesting.
like the theme, and I was like, okay, well, that might help with my list,
Yeah.
which will lead me into something in a moment. And so I think she also said she's like, there's a lot going on, and there is. There's a lot to think about in
Yeah.
that game. Where I don't think the game
grok?
is to Grok.
Yeah, there
to
is.
Rob
Devin would never say
Gronkowski. Yeah. And yeah, so there was a lot going on, and she did say like I would play it again, I would give it a try, but it just didn't like hit with her like some of the games that I know she likes.
Yeah.
Did.
Sure.
And I did. So I started a list, and I started a list of games Devin likes and games Devin doesn't like.
Oh, let's see if
Trying to
there's
make
any.
some
Let's see if there's any
connections.
patterns here.
Yeah, I want to see if there's some patterns. So here is, and this is not all the games she's played. So I kind of removed some of the party type games and the games that we all just have fun playing. So I kind of removed that to make it more game oriented.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to start with the likes or the dislikes?
Dislikes.
Okay.
For sure.
So if this is
Like, give me the bad news first.
Yep, Devin is my wife, and she is very hard to pinpoint what game she may like or dislike. So this is if you're listening, if you can think of a game she may like, let me know.
Based on
trying to
based
understand
on
how
the
her
list
brain-
that we're
Based
about
on
to
this
tell you right
random
now.
list, yes.
Go on real quick before you start.
Yeah.
This reminds me of there's this episode of Futurama where the people from Omicron Persei, they come in to attack Earth. And they are basically like, we're going to kill all of you in the following, we're going to kill, starting with the firefighters and then the math teachers and so on in that fashion. That's what it reminds me of. Like,
Yeah.
Like-
what?
Yeah.
What pattern is that?
What pattern is
Yep.
that?
So we're gonna see this pattern. What am I starting with? The likes again?
The dislikes.
Dislikes.
Bad
The
news first.
dislikes. Okay. Isle of Cats, dislike.
Okay. That tells me no polyomino
Yeah,
games. That's what it
yeah,
tells
we
me.
think
Or she
she
hates
does-
felines.
Yes. That would also go along with Tasty Humans, dislike,
Dislikes.
which would be
Polyomino.
that polyomino filling,
Whoa,
what she calls
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa.
Putting
Feeling-
tiles
Whoa,
into
whoa,
a
whoa,
space.
whoa.
That was for Nestor.
Yep. There you go,
Yeah.
Nestor.
Yeah. Filling in space, doesn't get it.
She hates it.
Coimbra, not a fan. Which I thought she might like because of dice placement. And I'm like, she
that
likes
one's a
dice
little
placement
surprising.
games.
Although, real quick, I can say I think her note about it being too much going on is a thing.
I agree.
So continue.
King Domino Duel, dislike.
That's kind of it's tiling. I wonder if she doesn't like tiling. Okay.
Yeah. Viticulture, not a huge fan.
Oh.
That weird pirate game that Deepwater Joe owns, Extraordinary Pirates.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Didn't she?
I
On your
think
way
is her
home was
least
like, I
favorite
don't like
game
that.
she's ever played in her entire life.
That's right. She's like, I would never want to play this
I
again.
know nothing
Never
about
played
that
that
game,
game
so I can't comment on it, but that's
And-
really funny.
So the last one on my list is Tapestry. She didn't love Tapestry either.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Well, Tapestry does have a polyomino element to it. Sort of.
Yes. I think so. Then the likes, and this is a good. As I made this list, I'm like, I should not be complaining or anything because this is a good list of games.
I don't feel like you're complaining. I feel like you're just
I'm
trying
not,
to.
yeah.
And
I feel like you're
luckily-
just trying to
Trying to
nail down
pinpoint,
like,
like-
what do you like?
Yeah.
What kind of games
So-
can I make sure hit with you?
Yeah. Here's her likes. Underwater City, she likes.
Okay.
Terraforming Mars, she likes.
Those are both interesting.
Castles of Burgundy, she
I
really
would
likes.
say in those games there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Castles of Burgundy, Five Tribes, which again, those games have lots of things going
Yeah,
on.
they do.
Any of the like crime solving detective type of games.
That I
So I
understand.
can find any of those. Yep.
Yeah.
Jaipur, which is a 2-player game.
Oh, right.
Wingspan and Quacks are on my games that Devin. really
Honestly,
likes
I understand
list.
all of those except mostly the first two. I
Yeah, I would
understand.
agree.
I even understand like in Castles of Burgundy because
Yeah.
there's a lot. That game is a game that makes you feel smart because there's a lot going on, but it's simple to get
Yeah.
it. Underwater Cities and Terraforming Mars are outliers to me. That makes a little
Yeah.
sense with given the fact that I would say those are just as, if not more heavy than the games she doesn't like, where she said there's a lot going on.
I agree, but I do think-
maybe.
But what's the difference
go
between
ahead.
like those?
Well, what I
and
was going to
Coin
say
Blade?
is, in Terraforming Mars, it is literally all about the cards. You're just playing cards, and Underwater Cities is very similar to that. For some reason, her brain might get that concept. You know what I mean? That makes sense to her. Like how Coimbra clicks for you. Underwater Cities and Terraforming Mars just seems that those kinds of games they're very similar. They click for Devin, so maybe
Yeah.
that's a thing. Because the other games that she doesn't like don't have the card play.
I do also think that she enjoys like manipulating something. Like Underwater Cities is very cool, and like I'm taking these domes, I'm putting it on my own player board. Terraforming Mars is the same
What about
thing. I'm taking
Tapestry,
these.
though?
And that's the outlier on the other side.
Yeah. Because that's
Who
about
knows?
who knows? Because that's about as tactile as it gets. I would say is Tapestry.
Yeah.
You know.
And we played something else. We'll talk about something else we played. We played the expansion for Detective, a modern crime board game.
Ooh.
And I know that the three of us have played the first three cases
Yeah.
of the base game, and we played the LA Crimes version.
Okay.
So the LA Crimes is the expansion. It comes with 3 cases, a 4th if you want to download it.
Sure.
And we kind of burned through the 3 cases in last week. So last
With a
week when we
blowtorch.
yeah, we just torched them. It was terrible. No, it was awesome. And this has really now cemented this is my favorite murder mystery deduction that
So
crime
it's edging
solving.
out. It's edging out Chronicles for you.
Yeah, and Sherlock. I think it's pushing them both down into like A and then like tied for second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Sherlock and I love the story of Sherlock, but I'm starting to really, really enjoy the story that Detective tells. And I don't ever feel as frustratingly angry as I do when I play Sherlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we do
I'm
get
with
to
you.
a point in Detective where I'm like, okay, we don't quite get it. But I don't feel like, oh my God, we're totally lost. Let's just start flipping the pages and try to like
Yeah.
read something. I've never felt that way. And I've also never, when we go to the questions at the end, felt like,
Like what the
well,
hell are we doing?
we didn't get
Yeah.
anything. I never felt like that.
Yeah, that happens in Sherlock sometimes.
Yeah, and Detective is just, I feel more immersed in that game than the other ones.
Okay.
Even with the VR in Chronicles, which is very cool, I feel more like a detective in Detective.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Detective
it's very
is more
realistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
And-
good at that.
So 2 cool things about it. So if you've played Detective, you know that it has this Antares system. So you go online, and if you have fingerprints, you type in fingerprints, and it'll like
Sticky fingers.
matches. You have this whole like, and it has this whole like database of like everything. You can pull up pictures and people's police profile, and I love that about it. But what's cool is that this LA Crimes is set in the 80s, so like 1986. When you click that you're playing the LA Crimes, it like winds the program back Oh. And it's just like blue and you're typing in like black text and it's like, and you have to like type in like a run code for it. It's not like real coding. So Dave, don't get mad. It's not like that. But you have to type in like if you hit the spaces wrong or you have a wrong, it'll just pull up a whole bunch of error, like a weird error thing. Like you type the code in wrong. Things take slightly longer because it's like, hey, we don't get fingerprints right away right now. You have to now wait a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And the other thing it came with is it came with little Polaroids of all the people that you're going to come across.
That's
in the
cool.
game.
I've seen pictures of that. That's cool.
That just elevated the game even more for me because for how much and when we've played it, we're like, who is Bob again? Who is and and to have a picture of Bob and be like, okay, this guy, and then like to take this picture and put it on top of this picture and be like, these two guys know each other. That's really cool. That cool. Like created our mind map a little better, and I loved playing it.
That's awesome.
So we cruised through that. We're gonna probably download the fourth case at some point fairly soon.
It's good that she likes those games because those are your favorite types of games. Like you eat those up like crazy.
Yeah, so
you should get it
that
like
was been great.
Like a cork board and some thumbtacks and some string
like
and then put your Polaroids up. And
it's like an Always Sunny where he's just like going crazy.
Pepe Sylvia. I keep seeing this name. Pepe Sylvia. This is a ghost town.
Man. Yeah.
Not only do all of these people exist, but they've all been asking about their mail. That's all anyone's talking about.
When we played with you guys and we had the whiteboards, that was the moment where I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, that was super awesome. In the condo.
All the whiteboards
that was super fun.
Game's over and there's like 6 whiteboards full of writing everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. We like took pictures of them to save it. Yeah. So that's really cool. Again, if you're in quarantine, you're looking for a game to take, 3 hours and you want to like immerse yourself into something.
Immersion.
That's another one. Again, you can play that by yourself also. You can play it with 2. It works wonderful. So
sweet.
That's Detective.
So now it's time for you to finally get a break from hearing about what the hell we think about everything. What a novelty, right on our own podcast. And it's time to hear from you all in this episode's Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
And now it's time for the Instagram inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
This is the Mad Board Gamer with the Instagram inbox. So I asked a question. We've been doing a lot of like game lists lately where I've asked like, what game do you like the player boards or what game is this? And I've just been reading off games. So I kind of wanted to just reach out to people and see what's going down in the lockdown.
Yes.
So what kind of stuff is happening? Do you have any funny stories? Do you have any good things that are kind of going on in your life during the lockdown? And I put it out kind of recently, so I didn't get a massive amount of answers, but I got a few. Okay. So I want to give these people some shout outs.
Yes, please.
I want to save. I have one on my list. I want to save this one for the end because it's pretty awesome, and I'm proud that we know this person. So, all right, I want to start with Sam, Miss French Toast, up in the UP.
French Toast. What up, Sam?
She has told me that things are getting really weird on Tinder. That's what she told me.
What? Is Sam a Tinderer?
Sam is a Tinderer, apparently.
Tinder?
So how can you Tinder in this time? I guess we'll see.
We can't meet up.
Yeah.
Well, they can chat. You can text each other. You don't have to.
Oh, you can text.
Yeah.
I can see.
You can message back and forth, and she's gotten some very weird messages.
Fat.
She's gotten, I don't even know if I can say one. I might have to cut it out. I might tell you.
Oh, no, I want to know.
One was,
say it.
Should I just say it?
Yeah, I'll cut it if I need to.
Okay, so one, she has this, she was messaging this guy back and forth of just like, hey, it's like, just, hey, I'm it's kind of weird being in this situation. I'm all by myself, and this guy was like, yeah, I just, want somebody to hang out with kind of thing. And because, we're all kind of lonely, whatever.
Yeah.
And
I'm like already laughing. I have no idea.
And Sam's like, it's bad. Sam says something to the extent of, well, it's safety precaution. I would rather, be safe and then have a bunch of people die than just, go out to a restaurant.
Sure.
Right.
And then this guy responds, and then Sam doesn't respond after this. This guy responds with, more people die of abortions every single day than what's going on here. And Sam's like, well, I'm not talking to you anymore. And just shuts down the conversation.
That's a weird thing to say.
Why are you just going to say that?
That's not going to get you where you want to go to, buddy.
Nope.
What do you okay, what does he expect? Does he expect her to be like, well, good point. All right, take your clothes off.
Right.
So that's weird.
An abortion is a choice.
She also got something that's like, I think her profile picture based on this story, what she said, her profile picture is her and her dog maybe. And she got this message that said, I only swiped right because of your personality. ... Is that a Spanish Spangler or whatever this dog is? Like, is that like
It's okay.
so
you tell her you
mean.
don't think she's pretty.
Yes.
And then
Yep.
you're like,
expect to have
what
a
kind of
start
dog
a
you got?
relationship,
Yeah.
or a
I don't know what
hookup
kind of
or
dog it
whatever.
is.
What a
What kind
story
of
to
dog
tell the
is-
grandkids
Yeah.
one day. Guys are dumb.
Yes,
Yep.
they
Guys
are.
dumb. And it to me, it's like, okay, this is why they're on Tinder right now, single, because they're all stupid and they couldn't get. I'm sorry,
So,
Sam. I
anyway.
apologize on
Yeah.
behalf of all of us.
You deserve better, Sam.
Yeah, you deserve better than
Yeah.
that. That's what idiots. But
At
it's
least
good
you can
stories.
quickly just
Weed them
get
out.
rid of the bad ones.
Yeah.
without meeting
Yeah.
them in person.
So we got
Yeah, I
one
think-
person who calls her ugly, and the other person who just basically tells her that more people die in abortions.
Yeah. Like,
Okay,
Come on.
we're not
Well,
going to pursue
it-
relationships with those jokes.
Okay, I have two things
No.
to say. They're just have nothing to do with each other. One, this is
One,
so,
I like Cheez-Its.
This is so random. But today I was just looking on my phone, and there was this picture of this park, and it was like a Chutes and Ladder park. And and it looked so cool. And I was like, I wonder where this is. And it was in the UP. And I thought of Miss French Toast. I was like, I wonder if she's been.
and
to
they
this
came with
park.
like big dice, right? Like you roll the big dice and you move.
Oh, I don't
on
know
the,
about that part, but I just saw
okay.
a picture of it, and it was there was ladders and slides, and it was just this giant structure, and it looked really awesome.
Sam, have you heard of this Chutes and Ladders Park?
Yeah, why isn't
So,
she answering us?
Send an
Yeah.
email to
This isn't
the Gamecasters podcast
Yep.
at gmail.com.
And rate us 5 stars so we
Please.
can get rid of this random 2-star review.
Yeah,
So
we're
if you
averaging
listen
out
to
at a
us-
4.7 right now. That's not good.
Yeah, what the heck? Jerk.
The other thing I thought of, and maybe I shouldn't even bring this up, but when you said, she was basically I'd rather be safe than go to a restaurant. Michigan stay-at-home order got extended to April 30th, and they were saying people like landscapers were not essential workers, and a lot of people are very upset that they can't get their lawn mowed. And it's really
People are losing their mind
You'd
over
rather
Oh,
risk
boy.
sickness than you'd rather get your lawn mowed than I don't know. It just
Yeah.
makes no sense.
People are
to
losing
me.
their mind
or
over
they
that.
can't buy their flowers, and it's wow, get perspective, people.
Right. More people die in abortions, bro.
I know. That's I don't know.
Silly.
Wow.
All right, emotional cyborg. Emotional cyborg, you remember? And
Yeah.
so emotional cyborg, not to make light of the COVID situation, but got a board game delivered, opened the board game, was playing it, and then read this thing that some of these Amazon workers in Cyborg's area was diagnosed with COVID.
Oh.
And they immediately stopped playing the game.
Yeah.
And, put the board game in timeout for 3 days.
Quarantined it.
Quarantine.
They
yeah.
quarantined the board game.
It's like a quarantine
Yeah.
inside of a quarantine. We got some Inception stuff.
Yeah.
Well, luckily the Amazon workers maybe only touched the outside of the box, the box it was shipped in.
No, they opened it up and coughed in there, I think.
yeah, right. I think it was just
Yeah.
more of oh no.
They have that whole thing
you know.
out there, where they're it lasts on cardboard for 3 hours or whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't know if that's accurate.
What game
but
was it, did he say?
I don't know.
Okay. Not that it
Not
matters. It doesn't
relevant.
matter.
That
It doesn't matter. Just matters to me.
Gaming with Santana's,
Gaming with
who is also addicted to 3D printing,
Okay.
Yeah.
who is just massively printing stuff.
Printing everything.
He said something funny happened to him the other day where he was driving his work van and then locked himself out of the work van at a gas station.
Oh, no.
Literal
With his-
lockdown.
Locked out of the
Lockout.
thing, and then went into the gas station, bought a scratch off, and won $25.
Oh.
All right, that ended up
It's the
better
little
than
moments
we
in
thought.
life. It's
Yeah.
the Silver Linings playbook.
Our buddy Nestor.
Yeah. What up,
Nestor yelled at his family during a board game recently.
Nice. This
The
is all
game,
because of
I'm
the
gonna
lockdown.
mispronounce this game. This in very English, it looks like Ariel. It's the game we look at all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen
RIL,
that
I
on
think.
his
Is it
Instagram.
Aria?
RIL.
Yeah, it's
RIL.
very colorful.
It's basically
Yes.
it's a game Devin we know would hate because it is polyomino. Ho 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 ho.
Bingo.
That's for
Calling me a hoe.
And our last one is a great story. Sergio, our buddy in the Philippines.
Yeah, it starts with a Z.
Yep. Shout out to Sergio, who has started a donation drive to get PPEs, so the personal protective equipment.
Okay.
Full what?
I'm sorry. It just sounded like I know it's a serious thing. It sounded like you said peepees.
No. PPEs.
Starting a charity drive to get peepees.
Yes. Yeah. He's getting PPEs.
PPEs. Okay.
Okay.
Personal protective equipment into hospitals, and then food for those who are in need during this time in the Philippines.
That's amazing.
That is fantastic.
And the Philippines is going
Sergio.
through a whole bunch of stuff that we're going through also. President's locking things down. There's some political stuff going on, but Sergio's doing some awesome stuff
That's
over in the
great.
Philippines.
And
So,
our
Help the
buddy's making a
community.
difference.
yeah,
Helping the
shout out to
community,
him.
listening to our show, it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Good job.
So that was a few things from Instagram. That wasn't really the gamey sort of
Yeah,
Instagram
I like
inbox
that.
we normally
I like
have.
hearing
No, that
about
stuff's-
what's
that
going on
stuff's
with
better to
people.
me.
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Also, I kind of want to know why Nestor yelled at his family.
yeah, is there more to that?
You didn't say
There's-
why.
There's a little bit with them like talking through some of the rules and not really paying attention.
Oh.
And then I think he just got
Like, you're not even listening.
overly upset. Yeah, he was just not really.
Cabin fever,
Yeah.
baby, it just happens.
Yeah, and he
You're in
he
close
really liked the
quarters
game.
for so long.
He really liked the game. He said so. That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the messages of what he
Oh,
might have said
okay.
or why. But oh well, that's all right.
Nestor.
So it was something like that.
Well, thanks for that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So, on tonight's board game beatdown, that's right, we're bringing
Yes,
it back
it's
this
back.
time. We are doing it a little bit differently. Normally, I know the game that we're beating down. Most of the time, I do the research for the game, and then, Natalie takes it over for the show, which kind of has a double-edged thing. One, it's like we go through it, and since I know them, we can kind of talk about how to, read them because these
Saying
people...
it'll be a little shaky this time.
No. I'm basically saying, but then sometimes my reactions to the comments are
Are not as genuine.
not as genuine, yeah, because I know them already. So this time, I told Natalie, I don't want to know a thing about the beatdown. She researched the game, picked all the comments for it. So we're going in fresh. I really hope this is not just an intervention and a roast on me.
It's not.
Please don't beat me down. I can't take it. So here we go. Unnamed game. Come and get your beatdown.
He gave you number one. 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 He gave you number one.
Okay, on today's board game beatdown, that's a mystery to my fellow Gamecasters.
Yep.
The game with 42,000 ratings and 5,500 comments.
Ooh.
Any guesses?
No. Any guesses?
No.
There's like
All right.
90,000 games in the database. Could be anything.
Dun, da, da, da. It's Azul.
Oh, Azul.
All right, blue.
Yeah, blue. We're doing blue.
Yeah. So let's get started. All right.
Okay, Azul.
Yeah.
This is the base Azul, I'm going to guess.
Base Azul only. I didn't look at the other two.
Okay.
CHR Boson or something, I have no idea how to say this, says multiplayer solitaire. Girls 8 to 10 like it some. Wife does not like it. Played 20 times. That was rated a 1.
20 times.
I guess if you play it 20 times, you have authority to rate it a 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, can you imagine you're playing a game and you're like, I hate this. Let me try it again. I hate this. Let me try it again.
Yeah.
This is the worst.
Well,
Let me
my
do it
8 to
again.
10-year-old
This is
likes
terrible.
it.
Let's go one more time.
Yeah, you're
Maybe
like,
in the
and you're
19th
like,
time we'll like it.
at time 8, 9, 16, 17, you just like are just angry.
I think it's funny that he says 8 to 10-year-old girls like it. Like an 8 to 10-year-old boy would
Yeah, is that like a
this
general
game.
thing?
Yeah.
8 to 10-year-old girls like it? What, did you just take a poll? 100 people were polled, and this is what we found out.
Caldina says, one of the top contenders for the most boring board game ever.
Ooh. What?
Ever.
No.
No.
Ever. How many games has Caldina played? Let's go look up
Caldina.
Caldina and find out how many games he played. Dina. Come and get your beat down, Dina.
You're like sounding like me.
Dina.
Repugnant Gamer says,
Repugnant gamer.
Repugnant.
This is going to be gold.
in quotes, DIY kitchen splash. The game? Seriously? I guess the gaming
Kitchen.
industry is running out of ideas just like Hollywood is with movies.
Okay.
Kitchen splash. Is that like the backsplash?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
backsplash.
trying to say?
He
Yeah.
said DIY kitchen backsplash.
That is
I
pretty
get it now.
funny. All right. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Costerix says, I suspect many gamers will get stuck with this garbage when the hype is over. So try before you buy. This is not even half a game.
Wait.
Played with 3. Scoring is cumbersome. Rules unnatural. Why destroy N1 tiles to place 1? The scoreboard is always the same. No arc, no combos. Sagrada wins from Azul on every aspect.
It's like an abstract game. The abstract games don't have thematically grounded and tied mechanisms. You know,
there is a different board. It's on the back.
Yeah, right.
Flip it over.
That's true. But wait, what
You're
was
wrong.
There was something you said at the very beginning of that comment that didn't make sense to me. Till when the hype dies down, people will be stuck with this game. What does that mean?
I think he means like
Are
Like
people
everybody
just
wanted
buying
it?
it
People are gonna-
blindly?
I think he's saying that like people will buy it and then nobody's gonna like it and then you're stuck with it because you can't get rid of it.
I wonder when the date of that comment was, because Azul's been out for a few years now. So I would say the hype has died down. I wonder if that's a newer comment or an older comment.
I'm not sure.
Because I would say he or she is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the hype is over and it's still extremely popular. I would guess it probably still sells extremely well.
Yeah. I mean, the average rating was 7.9.
Wow.
It's pretty high.
I do like Sagrada better. I'll say that. I'll agree with that person.
I agree.
think I do too.
I do too. But I also still like Azul.
I really like Azul.
But again, yeah. All right.
All right, next. Arcadius ZM says, I disliked abstract games, and this one is no exception. I'm just going through the motions here, picking some stones and gathering points. Bare bones mechanics are not exciting for me. I like dry Euro games, but abstracts are just too much. Wife rating, 10.
Oh, all right. Does that mean his wife is a 10 or his wife rated
I
that a 10?
think she rated it a 10. I like the part where he says, I like dry Euro games, but abstracts are just too much.
Too much. What does
He even
that
calls
mean?
it a dry Euro game.
Arcadius. Rock me, Arcadius.
Jay Valorant says, the game works fine, offers decisions, but it never gets exciting. I never go, oof, good turn, or ah, crap. Everything ends up being such small moves that I never really feel like they matter. Oh well.
That one I can understand. If you remember back to our interview with Gamey Lannister, he mentioned his favorite thing about board games was
The competitive.
the emotional swings that games give you. So the like aha moments, or the backstabby moments, or he lived for those moments. And so he didn't like as much the Euro games where you just play by yourself and at the end whoever has the most points is the winner.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this guy is saying a kind of similar thing
Yeah.
to that. But I feel like this is a game you should know that going in. That Azul's not going to give you those kinds of amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to go back to the last one where the guy called them stones. I don't think there's any more, like, that is a tile. I don't know if there's another game that has that thing that's a tile.
He must be speaking thematically. I mean, you're not.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He must be thinking he's wrong, but
Yeah.
that's funny.
AU79 says,
AU.
what a bad game. I'm not going to study everyone's boards, so I'm just going to trap them into taking negative tiles. Get out of here. Way too swinging and frustrating for a family setting. What the F was SDJ thinking?
Yeah, because he won the Spiel des Jahres.
Well,
Oh, is that what that? I was like, I'm not
Yeah,
sure. what that
SDJ is
stands
Spiel
for.
des Jahres.
U is for unicorn says, nothing offensive.
didn't we have them?
Oh, I don't know.
That does sound familiar.
She says, nothing offensive. It's just painfully dull.
Okay. I mean, again, these ones you can't argue with them.
Yeah. Game Zendo says, number one abstract and number one family game. My family is bored to tears playing this. So his family
Different
does
strokes,
not agree.
mother.
Yeah. FJ AO says,
All right, that's the name of the beatdown.
I don't know, there's another good one later. Pretty and pretty overrated on BGG.
ooh,
I think they thought
snap.
they were pretty cool
Man,
with that
that's
comment.
clever.
Update,
Nerd.
Azul is now number 2 in the family game section.
What is number one?
Oh, really?
Burn.
Wingspan? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Few more left. Omertron says,
Oh, we've had Omertron.
oh
Omertron,
dear,
yeah.
this is a tedious game.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Pick
oh,
some tiles
dear.
up, put them on your board. Also, so random and luck to find it hardly seems worth the effort. Spoiler, it's not.
Oh.
Oh, heck.
Oh, gee. Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh,
Okay.
you
killed
shot
him there,
eh?
eh?
Oh, no.
Oh, you
He-
just killed her.
These last few, so everything was from BGG. These last few, I have to tell you, are from Amazon.
All right.
And they all have like a similar theme to why they didn't like it and rated it a 1.
Okay.
Anonymous says, the only reason I bought this game as a gift was that I thought the tiles would make beautiful patterns like a mandala, different every time my friends played the game. The tiles inside were small and dull. What I bought was a pretty box.
Okay. Speaking of Mandala, there's a new game that came out called Mandala, 2-player only game. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
All right. Stop. This is the beatdown.
Sorry, I'm bogarting the beatdown.
Trisha Lina says, beautiful pieces, but difficult to learn.
What?
Wow.
What? That seems to be a common thing on Amazon.
Yep. Maureen Cubetta says, ridiculously difficult to understand. Would never recommend this game.
Aunt Maureen. It's Aunt Maureen.
Come on,
Put this in
Maureen.
one of like the
Jeff.
gateway games or for new
Like,
gamers, and all these
I just
people are like,
picture Maureen is like, you know what? My cribbage
get
club
it.
needs a break. Let me stop playing bridge for a day and let me buy it. And she can't figure it out. Like, that
many
is such a
rules.
simple
oh
game.
my gosh. All right, last one. Captain Billy Thimbleberry said,
Wait a minute.
Billy
Captain
Thimbleberry.
Billy Thimbleberry? That
Yep.
sounds like a character out of Everdell.
well, this captain says, I was gifted this game for Christmas. Based on the reviews and rating, my wife felt this would be a good game. Reading the directions for this game was not unlike enrolling in a graduate course. The rules are complicated and difficult to understand. Others have indicated how easy and simplistic the rules were, and apparently their IQs must be 40 points higher than mine. We are both college graduates and found the game to be extremely frustrating to understand. I don't recommend this game to anyone except bored Mensa members with lots of time on their hands.
Mensa members?
Are we talking about the same game here?
Azul might have
Azul.
won a Mensa award, actually, but
We're college graduates and we still don't get it.
You're a captain and you can't read
You're an
a
idiot.
rule book
You are an idiot, sir.
for Azul.
Oh, brother. I mean, I guess it's the only game. No, there's no excuse for that one. That's ridiculous.
Isn't that so funny?
Captain Barry Billy.
All the people
Thimble-
not on BGG
Thimbleberry.
think it's like just too hard to get the rules.
That's some good stuff. How do you feel now, Azul? How you feeling? You should feel pretty good because none of those were.
Despite those, you still have an average rating of
yeah, you should
7.9.
feel pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow, thank you for that. All right. For the game of the episode, this episode, we're doing something a little bit different. This game is called, can you identify the game by the description on BGG? Not my
No.
most creative title for a game, I admit, but maybe the most functional. So here's how it works.
This is the time where I need to stop.
I
reading.
am going to read the description of 10 games to you from their BGG description. Your job is to be the first one to ring in or, say ding when you think you know what the game is that I'm talking about. Got it? Make sense?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about this controversy of the dinging on the last episode?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, here's what happened. So, while we were doing what game was it? The Who Am I game.
Yeah, who am I?
Yeah.
Was it Galaxy Trucker?
No, it was Strike. I think.
Strike.
Yes.
Jeff and Natalie both dinged at the exact same time.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was the exact same time. I heard Natalie's voice. I don't think I heard Jeff's voice as quickly.
I was quieter. I will say
Yeah.
that
So
for sure.
So I gave it to Natalie. Then when I went and started and edited the episode, I got to this point and Jeff had it by a whole second. And I was like, what the hell was I thinking? And kudos to Jeff for not going, bullshit. Bullshit, I was faster than her. And I felt like such a jerk. So I texted them immediately. And I'm like, you guys, I don't know what the hell I was smoking. But Jeff was like way out in front of Natalie on this one. Ding, and then ding. And I was like, oh, Natalie got it. And I was like, how did I think that? So it turned out that I had the audio not synced up while I was editing totally. Because what's happening right now is since we're all remote, well, me and Natalie live together, but since we're remote, Jeff is recording onto his editing software. I'm recording onto my editing software. He is then, sending me his version of the audio, which I am then marrying into my audio to try to make them sound like we're live together. And so doing that can be a little tricky. And so I had to what I thought was good. Jeff is still responding to us in a normal fashion, but really it was like almost a second off. Almost a second. And maybe a half a second. Maybe a second is a long time. It was about a half a second off. And I didn't realize that until I had already sent the text going like, Jeff, you had it by a mile, brother. I'm so sorry, man. You
It was
win.
a tie.
And so then I
Yeah,
kept
it
going.
was.
I kept going. And I realized once I married the audio perfectly, they had set it at the exact It doesn't get more exact. It was like on the frame. You're both like, ding. So it could have gone either way. But yeah, that was a little controversial because we were texting back and forth forever.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was like, Jeff had it. I was like, oh, actually, I was wrong. No, Natalie did
maybe
win.
not.
Oh, no, wait, no, they tied. It was exactly the same. So, all right. So anyway, this is called Can You Identify the Game by the description on BGG. Natalie, please stop looking at my computer if you're not. If you are, okay, because I have it all set up right here. All right. Are you guys ready? I'm going to read the description from BGG on these games. Here we go. As soon as you think you know it, just ding in, okay? Number 1. Each player takes on the role of an aristocrat, originally controlling a small princedom. While playing, they aim to build settlements and powerful castles, practice trade along the river, exploit silver mines, and use the... Jeff.
Oh, I was about to say ding.
Castle of Burgundy?
Yep. Castle of Burgundy. Natalie, is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, can you keep score? I just have this on.
Just one. We're doing one each one. Or 1 to nothing.
Yep, 1-0. All right. You were just about to ding in with that one? Okay. Number 2. So now you understand how it works. That's simple. Okay. Number 2. In the depths of space, the alien races of the cosmos vie with each other for control of the universe. Ding. Jeff.
Cosmic Encounter?
Yes!
I thought that too, but
Number 2. Now they gotta get quick on the draw.
I'm scared I'm gonna be wrong.
Jeff's got these.
Natalie, we've been wrong so many times in this. We should not be scared.
I know,
of
we shouldn't be embarrassed.
Yeah, there's no shame in your game there.
All right, I'm gonna just go for it.
Jeff is so far is like snapping these. You at home, hopefully you're able to get some of these maybe in time with Jeff or before Jeff. That's your goal. Try to beat these two if you can. All right, number 3. There's hustle and bustle at the Grand Bazaar as merchants and their assistants rush through the narrow alleys in their attempt to be more successful than their competitors. Everything must be well organized. Wheelbarrows must be filled with goods and warehouses. Ding. Natalie.
Istanbul?
Istanbul.
Yeah.
You did it.
Good one.
Now, I'm not accusing you of doing this, Jeff, but don't take it easy.
Yeah, don't.
Just because you think it'll be good radio. If you got it, ding it.
Be good.
Natalie's self-esteem can take it. She just crushed my soul.
I'll just
in
cry
Blackout
offline.
Thong. Wait, can we call it Blackout Thong Song?
What did you call it? Blackout Long Shot?
Blackout
Going Long.
Going Long.
Yeah, I was texting Jeff. Here's the game I'm going to play. I'm going to talk about this episode. And I do swipe to text, and so I typed in Blackout Hong Kong, but it auto-corrected to Blackout Going Long. Oh, man. Okay, so we're 2-1. Here we go with number 4. You will be the leader of a group of critters. There are buildings to construct, lively characters to meet.
Ding.
Jeff.
Everdell?
Yes. Natalie didn't know that one?
The Critters.
Critters made me think that, but the buildings threw me off.
Yeah, because as you go in here, it kind of gets less sound. So the whole thing was, you'll be the leader of a group of critters. There are buildings to construct, lively characters to meet, events to host. You have a busy year ahead of yourself. Will the sun shine brightest on your city before the winter moon rises? I read that and I was like, huh.
Like,
the beginning part makes me think of Everdell, but does the rest of that?
The events are those little things on the trees that you can get, the tree that you can get. But that's not like the thing you think about.
You don't think about it like that in that context. So, all right, 3-1. All right, Natalie, come on, girl.
Okay, boy.
You own it.
Okay, boy.
You own it. Yeah, all right. Number 5. King Manuel I, on a visit to the Alhambra Palace in southern Spain, was mesmerized by the stunning beauty of the Moorish decorative tiles. The king, awestruck by the interior beauty of the Alhambra, immediately ordered that his own palace in Portugal be decorated with similar wall tiles. As a tile-laying artist, you have been challenged to embellish the walls of the royal palace of Evora. Nobody's got it?
Is it?
We can move on.
Ding?
Is it ding? Natalie.
I think I'm wrong.
Say it.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
You haven't even said anything.
Sagrada?
No.
Can I guess again?
No, you can't guess again. Jeff, you got a guess?
In Alhambra.
I can read it again.
Decorating walls.
Yeah.
King Manuel I, on a visit to the Alhambra Palace in southern Spain, was mesmerized by the stunning beauty of the Moorish decorative tiles. The king, awestruck by the interior beauty of the Alhambra, immediately ordered that his own palace in Portugal be decorated with similar wall tiles.
I think I know what it is. Damn it.
I'm gonna I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna guess Azul.
You got it.
And then
I was surprised you didn't say it. We just talked about that game in the Beatdown game.
When I was reading it, I didn't put this in there, but one of the comments was mentioned how being the last person who went to Portugal as like
I didn't know if I knew that was the theme.
I did not
really?
know that was.
Well, that's why when the guy was talking about backsplash wall tiles, because that's what the game's about. You're building tiles, right? All right.
Man.
That's 4-1 now.
Should have got that.
Ooh, 4-1.
What do you
Should we do the 10th one?
No, don't even. Even if there's no way I can't win, let's just.
We'll go through. All right, number 6. Here we go. Set in the world of Runeterra, players take on the roles of 4 intrepid Yordles: Corky, Tristana, Hermdinger, and Ziggs, who must join forces and pilot their newly crafted mechs against an army of marauding minions with modular board. Natalie,
Mechs versus minions.
Yep, there you go. Mechs versus
I
minions.
can't just say ding. I'm like keep saying like
I know you're like
like you. When we play like a Nomia, you're like green.
Brian Beach says when we play Anomia, I rev up to the answer.
Yeah.
So if you know Anomia, Anomia is a game of speed where two cards come out, and if they're the same symbol, you have to say a thing that's on their card before they say a thing that's on your card. So like if Jeff flips a card up and his is like utensil and mine is American president, I have to name a utensil faster than he can name an American president. And it's the easiest thing in the world, you would think. But when you know you have to say it faster than the other person, your brain just empties.
Yeah.
And so in that game, I'm always like, fork! I like rev up to it. Okay.
Anyway.
That is number 6, so it's now 4-2.
For 2.
All right, Natalie creeping on back, maybe? Here we go. Number 7. In the 1970s, the governments of the world faced unprecedented demand for energy, and polluting power plants were built everywhere in order to meet that demand. Year after Jeff got it. It was in there first.
Yep.
What you got, Jeff?
The CO2.
Boom!
Yep. Nice.
That's what you're going for, Natalie?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Nailed it.
Oh my god.
5-2.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Natalie, you got to get the rest of these to tie it up and have a chance. Here we go.
Okay.
Number 8. You seek to earn prestige by deepening relationships with nearby monasteries or funding expeditions of the era. To reach this goal, you must... Jeff knows it. What do you got, Jeff? Coimbra.
Oh, yeah.
I just read the rules of that again.
Because you just played it.
Because we just played it.
I didn't know it.
All right, we're going to keep going, though.
Keep going.
You can crawl back into this.
What do I have?
Yeah.
It's now
6-2.
Okay.
Here we go. You can make it respectable.
But the last one's worth 25 points.
So I just want to
Make it a
not
respectable
be
6.
embarrassed at the final score. So
All right,
my
number
only
9.
goal.
Number 9. You've studied the footage, connected the dots, and gathered what meager evidence you could. You're close. Soon the whole world will know the truth. A group of like-minded cryptozoologists have come together to finally uncover the elusive creature. But the glory of discovery is too rich to share. Without giving away some of what you know, you will never succeed in locating the beast. But reveal too much, Natalie.
I don't.
What are you doing?
Cryptid?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Cryptid.
Okay. At the last second, I was like, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, it's cryptid.
Wow.
You did it.
I didn't realize they were like discovering a beast. I thought they were just trying to find it.
You're like hunting it. Right?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, there you go. So now it's 6-3.
I feel like I got cryptid the last
Cut
time
it in
that
half.
was the answer.
Here we go. Number 10. It was an ambush. That's the only way to describe it. The mothership appeared out of nowhere, creating a massive shadow over the city. Within seconds, wave after wave of fighters poured out of it, filling the sky. We're launching the ships we have ready, but they aren't much. Our pilots must fight bravely to defend the planet.
Ding.
Jeff.
Flip ships?
Oh.
Yes,
I was
sir.
Like, what?
Yes, it is.
I did not know that.
Flip ships.
Well, that was fair.
Flipadelphia. Flipadelphia. Flip. Nice. Jeff wins with a resounding win of 7-3. Or if we play the other rules, 9-3. The last ones were 3 points. Nice, Jeff.
That was a redemption from last week.
You killed it.
Yeah.
Last 2 times I think I got my butt kicked. So
Guess you're good at knowing the themes, knowing what's really happening.
I just read the descriptions of all games.
That was good. There was some in there that I thought were, gonna challenge you guys a little bit, but they weren't hard enough to where I didn't think we were ever gonna be able to get them.
Yeah.
So that, I just try new things to try to get you. I mean,
that was good.
We do association stations, and it's hard for me sometimes. Not hard, but it takes energy to. gotta find a new game we haven't done yet, and somehow think of a interesting way to do that. Where this one is just like, okay, I just pick some games and then look at their descriptions to see if it works.
Makes sense.
All right, that is the game. It is now time for the Gamecasters. 5 or top 5. Sometimes we're doing top 5, sometimes we're just doing 5.
Yeah.
This episode, we have a super negative list filled with hate and malice. Get ready for our top 5 games we thought we'd like, but didn't. Catch you on the flip. All right, we're back. Top 5 games we thought we'd like, but didn't. Let the hate flow through you. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Here we go. Let's go, Jeff, Natalie, me.
Okay.
I want to end it this time, I guess. All right, Jeff, what you got?
All right.
Let's hear some
got a
preamble.
All right.
I might say this for everyone.
Okay.
I say this for all of us.
Yeah, okay.
We do some research before games.
Yeah.
Very rarely are we just buying a game and we're like, let's just randomly pick this and play it.
Yeah,
Right.
that doesn't
Like
matter.
Emily from
We do
Date
some
Night
research,
Dice buys
so-
wine based on the label. We don't buy board games based on the box.
She buys mine based on the label. That's what she said. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she put a funny story
Yeah.
out there. She's
Yeah.
like, what about these ones?
Yeah, that's right.
And so I would say, like, we do some research. So I really anticipate liking games going in.
Yeah.
And I try to have as much fun playing games anyway. There are moments where I turn into grumpy gamer, just like everybody.
Sure.
But we all, I feel like, have gone into a game where, like, this is going to be good. I love this. It's going to be awesome. What a cool theme. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this was so boring
This was
and
not
bad.
the good game I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be.
Okay, my number 5 is from Gen Con a couple years ago, and I bought it, might have even been last year. I bought it with my students in mind, thinking like they love deduction games. This is a game I think they're going to really like. It comes with these cool glasses that only certain people can see on cards. That game was called Red Scare.
Yeah, good
And-
call.
Red Scare just flopped.
I didn't even play
for
it.
me
You're right. That was
and my students.
Jeff. That was 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it was 3. That was just me and you.
Yeah, that was
when you
the
went.
just me and you one.
Man, it was. We were both kind of pumped for it.
Yeah,
you know,
we
it
were.
has these cool, like, you literally are wearing these like 3D glasses, Natalie. I don't know if you ever saw the
No,
game, but you.
I mean,
you
I've
look
heard
at.
of it, but
So if you're like a spy, you can look at part of these cards, and you only see part of it, where other people not wearing the glasses don't
sounds
see that,
cool.
and you like. No, I know.
That was all we knew
It
about it.
does sound cool.
That was all we
And
saw,
it
like a little
doesn't-
video, and it looked awesome.
Yes, and it doesn't work.
it turns out it's
And
not
it's-
awesome.
The
Well, you can
glasses are
cheat
goofy,
too, right?
like,
you can cheat easily.
and yeah, and even not even like wanting to cheat, you have to like
Because
hold
some
the card like
players,
this the whole
tell me if I'm
time.
right here, Jeff, but some players are wearing the glasses the whole time. And so if you look at a card, you can just lift up your head a little bit to where you're not looking at the glasses and see the other half of the card.
Yeah, it's just it didn't, and there was like a little too much to a deduction game like that, where the resistance is so perfect, where it's like all I have to do is play this thing. There's not a ton of rules. This had a little bit of finicky kind of stuff, or fiddly as some people like to say, and man, it just didn't hit. I really wish I would have liked it, and I wish I would have kept it around, but
Yeah.
So that was Red Scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick. I forgot about that one. Based on your review of it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to play this thing.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, what's your number 5?
Well, I kind of like did a similar thing. There's a lot of games, or these are all games where I like either thought I was gonna like or I really wanted to like. I was like excited for. I was like, I know I'm gonna like this, and then didn't. So, anyways, my number 5 is a game we got from Gen Con in 2019. And in fact, we won it in a contest, and I was so excited to
That was
play
so cool. That was
Bosk.
That was so cool.
Because we won it. It was so pretty looking.
Yeah, you didn't like that,
And
did
then
you?
we played it, and I was just like, darn.
I liked it a little more than you did, but it was a letdown.
Yeah.
And I think so. When you win a game, I feel like there's extra like I want
Yeah, I
like,
want
Yes.
to like it. And it was autographed, and it was
Yeah.
just the whole situation was cool.
I
how
it was
happened.
so
I felt
cool.
like bad that I didn't like
Yeah.
it, but I just didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like it. I remember thinking it doesn't. Usually, it's the other way around. Usually,
Yeah.
I don't like the game, and Natalie
Right.
likes it a little more than I do. This was the
Yeah.
opposite in that one.
And like this one, I don't remember. I didn't like hate it. I was like, I never want to play this again, but I was kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm cool. If
There's
we don't
very
keep
few
this.
of the games on my list there's not too many
That you
games
just
I
hate.
absolutely
Yeah,
just
right.
hate.
Yeah, no.
There is one actually game that I hate that Jeff, maybe you have a comment about.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right, so my number 5 is a game that I by the way, my preamble before this is I came up with my top 5 in like 30 seconds. I was just like this one, this one, this one,
No,
this one,
yeah,
this
same.
one. And I went to my list or my games list, and I was like, is there any more than these ones? I was like, no, I think this is it. So I don't hate them necessarily, but these are truly games that I was like really, really excited about mostly. And then we played them, and I was like, So my number 5 is a game that I went to this local game store close to our work called Guild of Blades, and the day it came out, I was like hunting for it. I wanted this game so bad. It looked like it had this cool gimmick that turned out to be just a gimmick, and the game is called Planet.
Yep. You were very.
I was so enthusiastic.
You didn't just go to Guild
told
of
the
Blades.
story about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you went to Guild of Blades. Somebody bought the last copy, and we saw them holding it and walking to the cash register. You were so upset about it that you went to RIW. You left work early.
Yeah, I left work
went
early.
to RIW to get a copy of it, and then we played it, and you were like, "This."
I was like,
sucks.
no, this was not fun. And we played it again with you, Jeff. And
That's perfect
Yeah.
for this list.
and I
Because that
remember I
was
was
a
just like,
major
I still
letdown for
kind of
you.
feel the same. I'm just like, oh, this is just. There's nothing to it. It's cool, but
Yeah.
I was so excited about that game. So that's my number 5,
That's a good one.
Planet.
Good
Jeff,
job.
what about you,
Yeah,
number 4?
I have Planet. I've kept it because I think my students like it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't say it blew me away.
Yeah, and I was hoping for it too. I was like really
Yeah.
like this is a new cool way to do tile laying.
Yeah.
On a 3D thing.
It was
like, wow,
cool
how
with the
cool.
magnets and stuff, but
Yeah, the
what I
gameplay
remember
just-
about it is that it almost like gave me a headache flipping the thing around trying to like see like what connected and stuff, and I'm like, did
Yeah.
I count this one already? I can't tell.
Yeah, you're right. You had to like
Yeah.
leave a finger on one
Yeah.
and then turn the whole thing, and that it just didn't work like it could have. Cool concept, not
Yeah.
great in production. All right, Jeff, what about your number 4, man?
My number 4 is one of the first games I ever bought, like an early game in my
I know what
collection.
this is.
And Ryan, if you remember, we played it in your living room in Garden City.
Yep.
And this game the theme was so cool.
Yeah, super
I
cool.
bought it, and the cover is awesome. There's this like alien breaking through.
Jeff, I even remember the story you told me before we played it. You were like, I was at this game store in East Lansing.
Yes.
And there was, I walked in there and I was like, hey, I'm new to games. Like, what's a game that you've heard is awesome or that you think is great?
Yeah.
And then the game guy was like, dude.
And it was like set up. This dude sold it to me, and I was like, and then even when I remember telling you about it, and you were like, it sounds
sounds
cool. Like
awesome,
the aliens are like, so the game is called Level 7 Escape, and I know that since then they've made
Omega
another Level
Omega
7
Protocol.
that I believe has gotten better reviews and better whatever. But this first Level 7 Escape, it was just so, I felt like we were grabbing the rules the whole time. It felt really fiddly. We were like, well, what takes initiative?
Yeah.
Can they do this at this point? And it just nothing was ever very clear. And we played it, I think, we played it 2 or 3 times, like back to back.
Yeah,
to
like
make
right away.
Sure that we.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just. It looked so. I mean, I really wanted to like it.
Me too.
And again, it's that feeling of like, I just bought this game. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
like it.
right. I'm gonna.
And you just don't.
And you got so hyped on it because the guy was like pumping it up, and you were like, "Oh yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about." Yeah, that's a good.
So
one.
yeah, that was a Level 7 Escape.
Good call.
Was a letdown for me.
Call. All right, Natalie, what's your number 4? Yeah, it's on you.
Sorry,
We're going.
All right, number 4. This is a game that you got, and you were very excited about it because it had these like acrylic polyomino tiles,
Okay.
and it's called Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. I remember we played it, and we were like pumped for it, and we're like, this game seems so awesome, and we were just like, this didn't really seem that fun, and then we played it again, and we're like, it was good. I just didn't enjoy it.
This is a good pick because I was very hyped on this one. And it's not a bad. I'm gonna tell you this.
No, it's not a bad game.
This is not a bad game.
I just remember
It's
we were
not.
just kind
It's
of
not a
like,
bad
I think it's a good game.
we were just kind of like,
But it's good for this list because we really were like expecting this to knock our socks off.
And
'cause
we were just
love
kind of like,
yeah, good, not great. It was good, not great. I don't care if I never play that game again. It was good. But I don't care if I never play that game again.
Yeah.
Good pick. That's a good pick.
We're like, wouldn't it just be the same next time we play it?
My number 4 is a game that Jeff and I tried desperately to get at Gen Con 2015, 2016? We went in 2015. I think me and Jeff went for the first time in 2016 or 2017. Who cares? And me and Jeff, actually, we met up with my buddy Matt, and we all tried right away to go and get this game called Ex Libre from this booth at Gen Con that was, apparently going to have it, right? So we didn't get it, and I was so bummed. That was like, I wanted that so badly. Yeah. Fast forward a couple months, we go to Grand Con, and they have it at Grand Con. And so I bought it right away at Grand Con, and I was like so happy. I tore up the shrink, and I learned it right then, and we played it right then. And it was, man, was it underwhelming. Man, was it underwhelming. It had some really cool mechanisms in it. Everything I ever read, it was one of those things where on paper, it should be awesome. And then you play it, and it's just not that cool. It's got all these big tiles in it that have all these cool little powers, but like the writing is like super tiny. So there's like all these tiles out. To read them, you literally have to pick every one of them up and like inspect it and then put it down. What does that one do again? You pick it up and then they keep these tiles are rotating throughout the game, so you're just constantly doing that. And I honestly found I was like, okay, I don't even want to deal with it because it's just annoying. I'm just gonna play on my own player board. I ended up winning the game that way, not even using the other ones, and I was just so bummed because I really, really wanted to like that game. And again, it was one of my most anticipated games from Gen Con that year, and it just fell flat. So that's my number 4, Ex Libre. Jeff, number 3 for you, man.
My number 3 is the one and only game I have ever won on any Board Game Geek contest.
Oh, yeah. I have never won a board game on Board Game Geek contest.
So I won 1. I'm not like Bill, who's won like 8.
Oh, I know what this
outrageous.
is. Oh, I like this game a lot, actually.
And
only played it once, though.
Yeah, so I've played it maybe 5 times with playing it with you, and then I've played it with Dave and the game group and trying to get through it. This game is called Galaxy Defenders.
Yeah.
And Galaxy Defenders is just, there's a little too much going on. It's a very cool thematic game. You like set this map up. The map's like made up of like these big like cardboard tiles, and they have hexes on them, and you're moving around, you're shooting things. It's cool. It's got a cool theme, like Ameritrash, cool powers. It seems very cool. It just got really frustrating every time you would go, and then the alien would go, and then the alien goes, and it's like, well, how does he move, and where's my line of sight? And figuring all that stuff out was just too annoying every single time.
Slow the game down.
It would take an hour to get through 4 turns. Oof. Like for me to go, for Dave to go, for Joe to go, for Bill to go, it would take 40 minutes. Oof. And it's like, that's not fun. And when you're trying to play a campaign of it, it just wouldn't fit in our 2.5 to 3 hour game night. It just wouldn't fit there. So I was a little disappointed in that one when I was really hyped reading the directions, really hyped with the cool dice and the cool minis.
Yeah.
And it just kind of...
I remember we were figuring it out at a WinterCon one year, and it was fun.
Yes,
but
I had fun.
We didn't play. I admittedly didn't play any more than that afterward with the campaign to figure out.
That was the most fun I had. That was the peak fun, was when we were trying to figure it out and played through that short intro.
Sure. Wow. All right. Good one. Number 3. So Natalie, what is your number 3?
My number 3, I think it's gonna surprise you, but. It's
Castle Burgundy. That would surprise me.
No, It's called Junk Art.
Okay.
I played this game for the first time at a work game night.
That's surprising.
We actually played it. Dave Madigan was there.
Donkey Kong. Oh, at the mansion.
Yeah, at the mansion. I had such a great time playing it, and then every other time I've ever played it since then, I really didn't like it.
Huh.
I played it again, this is going to be so great. That was so fun. And then I was like, I can't wait till this is over. I almost want to just stop right now. And then I'm like, maybe it's just the people I played with. And I played it again, and I'm just like, I just don't really like it, I think. And I wanted to like it so bad because you really liked it. And it just seems like such a cool, different game. And I just never liked it again at all.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I have fun playing that game. I like that
I
one.
have had a steep drop off I played that game to death when we first got it, and then after a couple of years, it just like I never wanted to play. For some reason, I never wanted to play it again. I don't know why, but I still think it's a really good game. That does surprise me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that totally, or maybe I did, but cool. Okay, that's your number 3.
Yep.
My number 3. There was a period of time where I was thinking that I was going to like war games. And I tried to get into little war games. I bought one that I played with Jeff that I loved called Sekigahara, Unification of Japan. That one I really loved. And then there was this other little card game that got nothing but love. And all I ever wanted to do was buy it. I think it's by Phil Eklund. I can't remember exactly. It's like a political little tiny card game that Bill ended up buying that we played at Nerdfest called Pax Porfiriana. And I was so pumped up for this game. I feel terrible because I dragged poor Donkey Kong into it. And I was like, all right, man, we're going to play this. I've been so pumped about it. It seems like it's going to be awesome. It was the worst experience ever. It was so dull, and it took forever. And I didn't know anything about the period of time, the political movement that this thing was talking about. And it was just so chaotic and impossible to understand. It was so terrible. And I just did not have a good time playing that, and I never wanted to play it again. And I think Bill sold it off or traded it off not long after that. Not because he didn't like it, but because he wasn't going to have a good time playing it with anybody else, any of us.
No one else liked it.
We all hated it. Me and Dave. I mean, it took like 3 hours. Me and Dave wanted to shoot ourselves in the face. I mean,
People love those PAX games.
Yep.
There's a few of those PAX games.
Yeah,
right? People love
There's
them.
a new one, PAX Premier. I think gets a ton
people
of love
really,
too.
really like people who like them are like.
Well, and so isn't that intriguing to you? When I first was reading about Pax Porfiriana years ago, people are like, "This is the best game ever. This is so good." And I'm like, "Man, what do these people love about this stuff? I want to feel that." And so I would do that for a ton of different games, and that was one of them. And it sure as hell did not do it for me. So that's my number 3, Pax Porfiriana.
All right. That's what's also funny about this list is that every one of these games just doesn't hit for us,
right.
but people
love
Yeah,
them.
they're still very popular
Love
games.
them.
like they're still popular and they do
Right.
really well.
Sure.
Okay, what are we on?
Number 2.
My number
Yep,
two. My number 2 is I'm like deciding between 2 and 1. Okay, I'm gonna go with my number 2 game is a game I bought. I never got into this series at all at the beginning. It's like a gateway game that people really like, and this is a branch of that. So the gateway game is Pandemic, but I bought a game called Pandemic: The Cure, which is a more dice-based game, and I had no fun.
Was that the one that was impossible? You just couldn't ever win?
No, it was the easiest thing.
Other
ever.
way. Got it.
It was so Devin and I played, and we were like, okay, well, why is this challenging? It wasn't. Everything was so, it just like came, and maybe it was like the greatest rolls ever. And that's where I was like, all right, well, I didn't have any fun this time. So I brought it to game night and played it with 4 people. And again, it was the same thing. We just like crushed the game, and it was so easy that I'm like, this was just no fun.
Yeah.
And
that's
I didn't
too bad.
think that 2 times in a row we could have like the greatest rolls or like we're some geniuses.
Right.
And yeah, so it just wasn't, and for it not to be challenging at the beginning when you play it for the first time.
Sure. That's
that
a bummer.
Really was a letdown.
That's gonna deflate you pretty quickly.
But again, that people love people love anything Pandemic on it. People love it. But that was another one.
Well, you got to
really
wonder:
liked,
do people just love it because it has the Pandemic name on it? You know, I wonder. Like people give it certain, considerations because of that. Who knows? A good one. Good one. All right, Natalie, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Dinosaur Island.
I thought that was going to be your number 1.
Really?
Yes.
This was very surprising to me. I expected to like this game. It has all the stuff that I typically like. It's worker placement. It has like dice rolling, tile placement, set collection, and stuff like that. And
yeah, I had this pegged.
I remember, I think I've just said this before, but I remember playing that game and thinking, like,
when will this
what
end?
What is the strategy to trigger the end of this game? And that's what I'm going to go for because I can't take it.
It was a rough play for all of us, I think.
I don't know why, but
I know. You're right.
Crazy.
Again, that's another one. On paper, it's a game that we like Ex Libre. It's a game that we should love. And then, worker placement, dice drafting, tile placement, resource management.
Yeah,
It just
and I remember you
great.
got that game and we were like so pumped.
So
we played our
pumped.
friend's copy, I think. Or we played our
No,
copy.
I think we played archive, but Brian taught it.
Oh, he taught it, and then we were just like, what?
Yeah, like this
How
is
did this
not
happen?
even
This is
close
like
to fun. What are
our
we
kind of
doing?
game.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
My number 2 is a game. Again, I was so high. Every game by my boy Uwe hit for me before this game. Like, not just hit for me, but loved. You know, I loved them all. I love, Agricola's great. I love Caverna. I love Le Havre. I really liked Ora et Labora. Even like stuff like Glass Road and
Feast for Odin.
Yeah, Feast for Odin was great, and obviously Patchwork. And then we played Reykholt. And man, I was pumped for Reykholt. I was so pumped for it.
And it had like
Learning
the
it felt
cutest
so
little
cool.
boxes.
All the components were awesome. It was really got this little worker placement, tight little worker placement mechanisms, and I could not stand the way the game scored. I hated it so much because it took all of the tension out of it.
Yeah.
You have a good turn. I don't. Next turn, you had a good turn last turn, so this turn's not good for you. I didn't have a good turn last turn, so this turn's good for me. And it's just that over and over again, and you're just trying to get to the point where it's like, maybe I'll have 2 good turns in a row, and she won't, and that's how you win. It was so pretty dull.
Yeah, it was dull. That's a good word.
It was just dull, and
man, that box was pretty though, displayed up there.
Damn, like that really bummed me out because I was really, I don't know. Up until then, Uwe had done no wrong. And he was my boy. He's still my boy. He's still my boy. He's done. He's done good
one
stuff.
One not good,
still.
one's not too bad.
Yeah, no. Yeah. He's great. But
let that one slide.
Well, that one, I just darn. So that's my number 2, Reykholt. Jeff, number 1. I think I might know what you got.
All right, my number 1 is I've slipped this one down the list to wait to see if either of you would say it. So now I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I originally had it at number 3.
Okay, all right.
But I wanted to see if you would say it, and then I could replace it with something else. Ryan and I were both very excited to play this game. This is Tiny Towns.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, that was.
I would say we were excited.
Fat bummer.
We went to RAW, bought it, pumped up, cool, and I played it with Devin, and we sat down and played it, and we played it one way with one of the variants where you flip the cards or you pick, I don't remember. Yep. And then we were like, okay, that was not fun. And we both were very bad at it. We didn't have any fun like making the buildings. And again, on paper, I'm like, cool, personal player board, little grid, these awesome looking buildings. The buildings have cool powers, awesome. And it just was not fun.
I think we played it the same night as you guys.
Yeah, or really close together.
Yeah, it was really close. We
that game was getting so much love too.
And people still love it. Like, this is going to offend Miss French Toast because she likes that a lot. And Devin and I played it again. And I was like, it's still not fun. And she was like, I don't ever want to play this game again.
It's funny that all 4 of us felt the exact same way about it.
Independently of each other.
Yeah.
I remember thinking,
and I took it.
Interesting.
I didn't like hear your guys' opinions, and then that colored our play. Because I think we played it the same night.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we just kind of reported back, like, what'd you guys think? And we were like, damn it. Like, damn it. It was just.
It was so hyped.
Damn it. I don't get it.
I did take it to Board Game Club, and I played with more people. I played with 6, and everybody else kind of liked it, and I just didn't. Again, with 6, just didn't. It's strange. It's very strange to watch everybody go like, "Oh, I get this game. How cool!" and do this, and I'm like, "Is it cool?"
Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to remember.
So I
remembered very, very specifically why I didn't like it back then. I'm trying to remember exactly what my main problems with, because I had problems. It wasn't just like I don't know why I don't like. I remember I knew why I didn't like it. And I'm
part of it was like, if you play with so there's the one where you play with the cards and you flip the cards over, and like you're at the mercy of the cards. There's also one where like you call out what cube you want.
Yes.
So like if you're not calling out what cube you want, you are waiting for maybe that cube flip over.
Because you have to take them, and then you got to put it down. Now it's like, oh well, now that ruins my shape, and now I can't build what I want to build.
Or if you're playing with 6 people. If you're playing with 6 people, you're waiting 5 or 6 turns till you get to call the cube that you want. So it's that, I guess that just didn't click with me.
Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
Good choice. I will agree. Natalie, what is your number 1?
My number 1.
You think you're number 1? I really thought you're number 1. I really thought that was
I think you're going to understand this.
Well, I'll understand.
My number 1 is Awkward Guests. Because
really?
Yeah, you guys were disappointed with that.
That was
I
disappointing.
love those kind of games, those deduction games.
I bought that with her in mind, for
yes, and I was so excited about it. It was like a new game like that, and you even had the little pad where you're like marking off what it, the information you have to narrow down, who did it. It was almost like Clue-like. And I remember I wanted to like it so bad, and I was so excited for it, and it was over, and I kept trying to make excuses like, well, yeah, I mean, if maybe it was just like not good with 2, or maybe, and then Ryan like didn't like it, and he was explaining why, and I'm like, damn it, you're right.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is right. I'm just trying to talk myself into like
especially with
liking
2.
it, and I just didn't, and it was so disappointing.
Well, it also had this setup problem where, I mean, it was a cool system where there's this one like deck of 200 cards that makes all these different scenarios, but you have to prepare that every gameplay, and it's like 75 cards you got to prepare, and then when you're done, you have to deconstruct it and put them back in their correct order so you can construct the next deck easily. So that sucked. And then just there was, I remember it was a bummer. That was a bummer.
I remember being disappointed hearing your review of it.
Yeah.
It made me sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
I was very sad. And he was like, I'm going to sell it. And I was like, no. And then eventually I was like, yeah,
like,
we're
okay.
not going to play it.
And now do you
Fine.
miss it?
No, I
bummed out.
I wish that it was the game that I wanted it to be, and it just wasn't.
Agreed. It wasn't. That's a bummer. All right, time for my number one. My number one is a little game from AEG, and actually it's more of a tiny game, and you have these towns, and Jeff's already talked about it. It is Tiny Towns.
Jeff even waited.
Yeah, he waited.
I thought you were gonna. I thought you had a different one at number one.
No, it's Tiny Towns. It is Tiny Towns.
Dang it!
Did you? No. God, no. That's fine. I mean.
I thought you were going to say Broom Service.
Yeah, no.
And then I was going to go on a rant about how it won the 2015 Penner Field Yards.
No, well, the reason I didn't put Broom Service on my list was because I didn't go into Broom Service like, I cannot fucking wait for this game. I was kind of like I like Jeff loves it and Bill thinks it's funny. Like, I was ready for it, but I hadn't researched it myself personally as much. You know what I mean? So like, these games, these specific games on my list here, I feel like I put my like heart and soul into like going like, oh, this is going to be the game. Everyone's talking about Tiny Towns. Everyone.
Yeah.
People are like, not just like, Tiny Towns was good. Every review I saw, whether it was Instagram or Board Game Geek, and usually those two don't marry up. Usually Instagram's much nicer to games than Board Game Geek is. Everyone loves everything on Instagram. Yeah. On Board Game Geek, it's not quite as, so you got to like, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But everybody was into Tiny Towns. Yeah. And
I feel like this is like a very appropriate number one for both of you, because you were both like pumped for that game. And then let down.
There's even a tiny part of me. So I still own the game because of my students. There's even no pun intended. There's even a tiny part of me that wanted to like that game so much that the expansion just came out, and I'm like, well, maybe
that'll make it better.
I mean, you have it. I mean,
I'm not getting it.
Yeah, it'd be.
I'm not getting it
for either. I mean, if you did, I wouldn't blame you. Just to try, because like, it's one of those things where it's like, man, everyone loves it. I want to know,
like, what am I missing?
What am I missing? I want to see why.
What's my problem?
Right.
Like, how do these people play it over and over and over and just get so much enjoyment when all I see is just ugh. Another game that would be a good honorable mention for Jeff and I would be The River. That kind of has a similar thing of Tiny Towns. I don't think
that was the one that was going to substitute into my other.
Gotcha.
Ones. That was like
I feel like we weren't as hyped about The River, which is probably why it didn't make the list for you. That's why it didn't make the list for me. I was pumped for it, and it definitely let us down. But Tiny Towns was almost a different level.
Part of that River, and I get the audience for the River, but because Days of Wonder only comes out with that one game. And when you're just so ready for that Days of Wonder game, because you think about like Five Tribes, I love, Quadropolis, I love, Small World, Memoir 44, these games that they just let you're like, yes, I can't wait for the Days of Wonder game. And then The River was just like, I'm like, it was barely a game.
It ended in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
There was that moment
was just
Jeff and I
barely
were playing it, and I was like, so I think if I do this, I'll end the game. And he was like, you remember this, Jeff? You were just kind of like, yeah, I think so. But it was like, it was one of those moments where it was like, I didn't have to, and the game could have gone on. But I was like, if I end it, I'm clearly going to win.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything. Like, it wasn't like I outplayed him at all. It was just at that exact moment, 5 minutes into the game, I happened to have more stuff. And it was like, okay, if I do this, the game will end and I'll win, right? And he was like,
yeah, it was weird.
And I read that is a complaint that people have about it, is it ends too fast.
Yeah.
I remember.
What did you have any?
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say. I remember I bought that for you for like Christmas or something, and I was kind of like mad that you played it without me.
There's no kind of about it.
And then,
You came over to my house. I know, I
yeah,
remember.
and then he was like, "Trust me, like just trust."
I was like,
me.
we got to get rid of this
No,
thing.
you don't want to play it.
It was a big kind of controversy around our house for a while. Like, I wanted to get rid of it, and she's like, well, I want to play it first. And I'm like, no, please, no.
Don't make me play it.
It's not good.
Yeah, I had a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah, what kind of honorable mentions? Yeah.
I had modern art, and
Oh, really?
I had fun with that one.
I love that game.
I don't like.
I did not know you didn't like that game.
Yes, you did.
It's an auction game.
Yeah, you know. Like,
Every time we play it, I'm like, ugh.
oh, I love that game.
Keyforge. Remember that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very
Yeah,
good
we
one.
were excited for that, but
Yeah. We were hoping it was going to be Star Wars Destiny 2, and it
then
just wasn't.
I don't know. And the other one was the Dory Dot to Dasketol.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Taverns of Teeth
and Bell.
That was on my short list.
Yeah, I thought one of you would say that one. I had Ryan. You remember playing Elder Sign?
Yep. I thought you were going to put
I
that
was really
on there.
disappointed with that one. Yeah, that's on there. And again, the theme seems
Yeah.
cool. Like I like Arkham.
Cooperative
but Elder Sign
Arkham.
just seems so easy, and I'm like, why
We
would we want to
played
play
it
that
twice
anymore?
back to back, and we just kind of looked at each other like, should we have won this easy? What are we missing? We looked at the rules. We're like, no, this looks right. Like we just, and so it was like,
Yeah.
well, all right, we just beat it twice. Okay, I guess we're done.
Yeah, because it was advertised as like Arkham Light,
Yep.
and you're like, cool. I don't need to play a 4-hour
Right.
Arkham game or 3-hour
And it's
Arkham
gonna be
game.
hard
Let me play
and-
this, and it just doesn't give you the feel of it. We're like, Eldritch Horror is the correct. That's the correct Arkham Light. Like that's the shorter.
And it's
Elder
still
Sign
kinda
just wasn't
long.
there.
Yeah, Elder Sign.
And it's still longer. The other one I had on the list, and it's mainly because I'm very bad at it, is Alchemist. I'm just terrible.
I
at that
thought
game.
one of
So
you
it
would
makes
put
me.
that.
I'm like I don't know. Is it a mushroom potion?
There was so many games I could have put on this list. When I went through my previously owned, because that was pretty much where I looked.
Right,
Good
me too.
point.
When I go through that, I was like, yeah, I could put any of these. But the reason I just went with my gut. As soon as I saw your idea for this list, Jeff, in my head I just was like, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And
It
then
was pretty
when I went
easy.
through my previously owned, I was like, okay, there's most of these on here fit this criteria, but none better than these 5 for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would like to chime in real quick before we send off that I want to do a quick beatdown.
Oh, right.
That's okay.
a quick beatdown.
I was also searching for this list on my previously owned, and I went to Ryan's previously owned, and I went to Bill's previously owned to look at these. And I have never read or heard Ryan talk so negatively about a game. He beat down this game called Rock the Beat.
Rock the Beat. That's
Rock
what it
the
was
Beat.
called.
I've never heard of it.
Right,
In
you've
the
never
year
heard of it.
2012. So this is Natalie. This is before you,
Yeah.
2012. This
Yeah.
is 8 years old. Ryan beat down this game called Rock the Beat. He rated it a 2.
That's crazy.
That is
This
crazy.
So you can look at like on BGG stats. You can see like Ryan's rated 5 games a 10, and you know these
What did
games
you
are
rate
not.
that
And you can
paper
see that everything he's rated has been higher than this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the lowest.
So
ever.
this is. I'm gonna read it in like a studio.
Good, yeah, do
yes.
it.
Just for the effect.
Can't
So
wait.
This
Ryan
is my comment.
rates this game a 2. Sandman X82
That's my BGG username
Says-
for everybody out there.
Yeah, Rock the Beat. This was so dreadful. Clapping, stomping, whatever, all to the beat of "We Will Rock
That's
You."
the whole game.
It is horrible. I can't even express myself in the proper way. This is just blech.
That totally sounds like something I would say too.
faux show.
Yeah, that would.
So
I hope that would
was-
make the beatdown if somebody ever beat down.
Yeah,
Rock.
that
Yeah,
was Ryan's
totally.
beatdown of
Sucked. The
Rock
the
the
whole
Beat.
game. That was the whole game. Is you were just finding different ways to do "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
Was there music in it?
You made the music.
I read the description of it. You're supposed to you clap a couple times and then do like a symbol, and then like a symbol like thumbs up. So you clap and do a thumbs up, and then you clap and do someone else's, and then they do their symbol. It's not
Did
a
you
fun
buy
game.
this
Not
game?
good. I got it. I think I got it for a gift. So back
Oh.
in 2012, that was the first two. I think the first couple. So we really got into the hobby in like 2010, and so at the very beginning there, I wasn't really consuming a ton of hardcore board games. It was just board games. Any board game that happened to come my way. Yeah. And I probably got it for a gift for something like that. I don't know. That's funny, though.
That is funny.
I totally forgot
you wrote your own
that.
beatdown, but like on your own.
Yeah,
like,
you texted me about it, and I remember I was like, I think it's that music game. But I didn't remember the comment. So.
I saw it and I was like, "What? He never said that."
Yeah, no,
so
that's true.
that was a little.
I've softened over the years. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the show. We also have a Facebook group. You can just search The Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We have an incredibly barren BGG guild that Natalie has still not joined. So if you'd like to head on over there, we are Guild 3678. If you like the show, we'd love it if you would consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts. We have to nix out that 2 rating that someone gave us.
Yeah, just one of them.
Or anywhere you listen that allows you to rate us. We would love that to happen. We are just trying to grow the show in any way that we can. And, if you like us, if you hear us and you just like us, please, I know most people just don't want to take the time. I personally never want to take the time, but please, I'm asking you, take the time. That would be so great for us. All music for the show and every episode is produced by Jeremy Pete. If you enjoyed it and want some of your own for your next project, please email us to discuss. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.